Hello, everybody. It's your old friends at Nerds of Us, and welcome back to the Best of All Worlds podcast here, where we're trying to find the best episode of Star Trek ever made from all the galaxies, of all the centuries, of all the star dates that you can find, and we're going to try and find the best episode of them all. And, well, it's taken us 40 attempts, Jerry, but we might have found it with this episode.
No, I don't think so. It's not might. It is. It is.
Yeah.
But listen, I'm that confident about this one that I can actually make that claim. Now, we will see. In about 2 hours' time, we will see in about 2 hours.
By the way, yeah.
Was I correct?
Yes.
But I firmly do believe that yes, I was. Because when you look at all when you look at those top 10 that we have there, and what a list in the top 10 that we have. If you take elements from every single one of them and put them all together, you get this one.
Indeed, you do. So yes, as you may have guessed from the title of today's episode, we are watching DS9 Season 4 opener, The Way of the Warrior, two-part of the kickoff Season 4. A lot of people would say, like, again, much like a lot of like Star Trek series, Season 3, Season 4 is when people get their shit together. And in very much case where like DS9 only gets that done, but also kicks the door down with it and shows you exactly what it wants to do with that particular fucking season. But yes, this comes out at the end of an arc where we've done a whole lot of conflict related episodes. So we've done there's so many humans interactions over the years with various different kind of like warring species, let's say. So we've had stuff with the Cardassians, we've had the stuff with the Romulans, we've had a little bit of a dabble with between Bajor and Cardassia. We were doing the episode duet with a couple of episodes ago. So that was certainly one that we did, was quite interesting. And then obviously we had the Zindi and stuff like that. So this is kind of like been a lovely little kind of preamble into where we are now with this. I suppose like the eternal conflict of Star Trek really is the humans and the Klingons, like dating back from the original series to in particular the movies. I think really it kind of like epitomizes the kind of the raging rivalry between the two, and then obviously the Next Generation puts like phenomenal layers of lore upon the Klingons to the extent where they're just such a fully fledged race, fully fledged species, civilization, culture, take your pick. That, but then it comes to then Deep Space Nine has such a much bigger platform to build on that they can now throw in these little bit of political intrigue now as well.
Exactly, yeah. Like I understand as well that this episode did as popular as it is, because it is one of the most popular episodes out there. It didn't come with its own share. It did come with its own share of criticisms.
Yeah,
and the fact that what happens, and I won't get into it now because there might be a couple of people who have never seen the episode before and they're going to watch it now.
Correct.
There would be those people, those kind of really like hardcore fans from the original series onto the movies and then the Next Generation that would look at this and go, this is blasphemy what they're doing. How could they have done something that Gene Roddenberry wanted to do in the movies and now take it away? And I'm like, well, you have to understand this is what the story is all about. Yes. And that's what part of our last category that we always talk about, which is consequences, plays a huge factor.
Yes,
huge factor in this episode. So yeah, we're good to go here.
That's why the review is going to be so juicy, because as you said, we have to kind of weigh up it's not weighing up is the wrong word to use here, but it's obviously this kind of preconception of what Star Trek should be and shouldn't be, and then how it's a relevant conversation to when like listen, we always give out a new track on this show, and sometimes it's justified, sometimes it's not, sometimes it's being a little bit unfair, but the same conversation was happening around Deep Space Nine for a long time. We're like, no, this is not how it works. It's always on the Enterprise, it's always on this, it's always on that. It's like traditionalists in Star Trek don't normally work, the kind of way that's kind of goes against the spirit of the game a little bit. Yeah. So listen, we'll jump into this episode and we can pick it apart as we go along, and of course we'll have a review at the end as well. Obviously, Jerry, you are ready to go. I don't think you've been any more prepared than you can be for this episode. This is your pride and joy. This is your magnum opus.
Exactly. Well, you see, normally for me, and Jonathan will attest to this, is that normally I'm the one who's late. I'm normally like, oh yeah, Jonathan, I'll be on in 15 minutes. I'll be on in 15 minutes. I've been sitting at this. So we started this call. I think what was it, about 7:30?
Thereabouts, yeah. Let's go.
Thereabouts. We'll say 7:30. We started this call. I was ready with the episode queued up to go by 10 to 7. and I've never been more prepared for a review before. And I was even texting on, so Jonathan ready when you are, and he's like, Jesus, Jerry, hold on, I'll be there now in a second, will you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Normally on the late one, I'm like, I'm not being late for this. This is the for me. Other people will have their own favorites and their own best
Yeah.
episodes. The likes of Best of Both Worlds, the likes of yesterday's Enterprise, the
Mm.
likes of even Endgame and Voyager will be one of the
It's a bit low as
or
well.
Year of Hell or the Zindi or what it's
Mm.
whatever is your favorite is your favorite. That's one. That's why I love Star Trek, because people differ, but they also come together as well. There's no like internal conflicts of you're wrong because this is the best episode. Oh, you like that one? Well, I like this one. That's the way it is.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I just feel, to me, this is mine,
Yeah.
and I can happily watch this. I could happily watch this at least once a week or once a month. I
Oh,
could,
yeah.
genuinely, I could do that. I could.
Okay. Well,
Easy.
well, let's do exactly that then. So, obviously, we are both ready to go here on this side, and goes without saying that we're not going to be able to show the whole thing live here. But what you can do is you can press play when we do on your streaming device of choice, and you can get a running commentary of this deluxe episode, I have to say. So strap yourselves in. It's going to be a very long episode. But if you don't want to watch the full thing with us, you're more than welcome to skip along and give us about 93 minutes on the video, and then you can see our trivia and then our review of the episode and see how it weighs up then with the phenomenal episodes we watched already on this show. Again, we're 40 episodes strong on this, and well, we'll see how we get on with this. What could very well be our chart topper at this point. But Jerry, are you ready to press play?
I'm ready to go.
Let's take it so. All right then.
Instantly. You're instantly like, what the fuck is going on here? Oh, those dirty bastard Dominion. They're after coming onto the station. What the hell? You're instantly in defensive mode. As soon as this episode starts,
It already gets a
the
bonus point.
music straight away.
Yeah.
The fact that they have not uttered a word yet.
No.
And when you see them do this, you're like, it's a changeling.
Mm.
Immediately you know what it is.
Watch yourself, Chief. This changeling knows the station as well as we do. He could be.
So bonus point for Ball Cisco. He's reaching prime.
It's a very
prime Cisco.
This was the first time you've seen bald and bearded Cisco, wasn't it?
He kind of he does the change halfway through season 3.
But he wasn't bald though, or was he bald?
No, he did. I think towards the end of season 3 he did, because he did get rid of it.
Okay. But you see, before he made Deep Space Nine, that's how he looked.
Yes.
He was bald with a goatee from a role that he'd done previously. The life of me, I can't remember the name, but he was a badass in it.
Yeah.
They didn't want him to be that badass in this. It took them 3 seasons to realize, oh no, we need badass Cisco.
No.
We need badass Avery Brooks.
Well, like I said, they kind of it was very much the case that like the brief of the show was starting to change as well, and as I said, the post Roddenberry kind of era kind of summarized itself really as well. You're thinking of Hawk, by the way, on Spencer for Hire.
That's right. Yeah.
Tries to infiltrate the state. And remind everyone that next time they better sweep everything.
This to me as well was peak Odo makeup. Yes. Before this, it kind of flip-flopped around. Maybe the nose was different, the eyes were different, the ears were different. This is peak Odo makeup. He was so good.
Yeah, I think Odo always looks
this
best,
point
he does have that little bit of uncanny valley to him, in a sense, where like you can tell there's a kind of a matty kind of skin off him. When he looks almost like more realistic, it takes it away a little bit. Which I know is kind of a weird, ironic thing to say, but as you said, like he's meant to look like a facsimile. That's the whole point.
Mm-hmm. Think about it. There's somebody who's most consistent throughout all of their run for 7 seasons. Yeah. Quark barely changes in the 7 years he's there. And even recently, when he did a convention there, I think it was a year or two ago, and they put the makeup back on, he looked exactly the same. There's no change.
Yeah. Frankie for life, as I say, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, here's trouble.
Yeah. Dirty Maquis swine.
Traitor. Send her back to Vichy France.
In fairness, you look at the Maquis and they do try and paint them as bad guys in this, but they're just not bad guys. They're not at all.
That's the whole argument. Like we haven't done a proper Maquis episode on this really, and like there is such a debate about like whether they are in the right or the wrong, depending on your point of view, depending on like what your political affiliation is. It's kind of such a fascinating little insight, and like say if you're if you're in the rebellion or not type of mindset,
Yeah.
I love as well that like that is like Tholian silk. Like I know like what we know what the Tholians look like. So just imagine them just like with their little spindly hands, just knitting
Yeah.
away. Oh yeah, no, we can throw this up for actually, no problem. Yes. I'm glad to see that peak caps do survive into the 24th century though. That is I'm
You
sure
do
that's
see
also
them a
been,
lot in this show, in
yeah,
fairness.
to be
I
fair.
don't think you ever saw them in Next Gen, but you
No.
see them a lot in this show.
Yeah, I think the only like headwear you'll ever see is Data with his cute little poker's hat, his dealer's hat.
You've got that, you've got Time's Arrow, where they're all wearing hats
Oh
to
yeah.
disguise themselves, and then you've got Q, the one with the merry men.
Oh yeah. Cupid. Yeah.
Cupid, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only time I can remember hats, anyway.
Yeah, so I suppose like common wear as a word. You see the occasional headband, I suppose, like from Roll Aaron and stuff like that.
And actually, from a movie that I watched today, Generations,
Yeah,
they're all wearing seaman hats at the very start because they're on the
yeah.
HMS Enterprise.
Yeah. I do like playing dress up in fairness on the Enterprise,
I'm like, fuck off, Jadzia, will you?
Something in back about it is like, I'm trying to hide my disappointment. I really, really am. But you've ruined my fucking night, Dax.
I'm like, he's gonna get up there and go, oh man, cock blocking again? What the fuck?
Even when I'm bald, you ruined my night. I can't believe it. You disgust me, old man.
I love the fact that you went up like that as well.
Oh, that's
He's like, I'm not getting changed. Fuck that shit.
It was totally to show his disdain.
Now, loved seeing this ship. When you see it for the first time, you're like, oh my God.
I was like, go on.
I always look at the Negvar as a ship that it's obviously bigger than a Vorcha. It's slightly bigger than a Galaxy, but not quite as big as a Dederidex Warbird.
We talk about Yeah, when you said shore leave, I didn't think you were taking the whole fucking shore with you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Quark was giving out about having no business earlier on. Well, you better stock up on blood wine.
Now you say that now, but then of course what happens? They're like very quiet.
Klingons famously
they're always loud and boisterous and starting fights. Wasn't a single fight started, and they're just like real cautious and quiet. You're like, what the hell is going on here? Like, but even now, when like hindsight being what it is, when you look back and you say to yourself, what did I think of this episode when I first watched it? You say to yourself, is this going to be like the failed Cardassian Romulan invasion of the Gamma Quadrant by the Tal Shiar and the Obsidian Order? Is this what they're here for? Are the Klingons going to go, you know what? They failed, but we're going to succeed. We're going to invade the Gamma Quadrant.
Yeah.
So you really don't see by the end of this, you don't see what's going to happen by the end of this episode. You really have no idea. No. It's like this is not going to happen. This is going to be a plot by the Dominion, something or other, blah, blah, blah. They'll find out by the end of the episode and all will be well.
Yes.
And it doesn't turn out like that.
Yeah.
Because you could argue, in a way, it's not a happy ending, really.
No, it's very much a stalemate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, very first time in Deep Space Nine, you see the Defiant in the opening credits.
Yes, it's just the flyby shot is just beautiful. Like I said, they really get across the fact that, like, okay, it's not just on a fucking space station now. We actually have it's a really, really cool ship. And again, also just gets across the scale of it. It is just a little pocket rocket. Like it's it's not a
Oh yeah,
Federation ship.
like it is. It is a tiny ship, but it has as much firepower as a Sovereign class, which is insane.
Yeah, it's a dangerous little thing. Like I said, it should have made more of a fuss of the fact that, like, only certain people can pilot it.
Yeah. Now, how many times did I have to film that one fucking part of that scene?
Colin Meaney started the trilogy of Roddy Doll books. He was fucking ready for that.
Mm-hmm. I tell you what, if there was two guests I could get to interview, I'd love to interview the two of those.
Oh yeah,
Alexander Siddig and Colin Meaney. Oh, what a talk that would be.
you'd have to do that in character though, and get the sexual tension going again.
On an average day, it's 65. When there are Klingons.
Quark's eyes are like what happens when you have a greyhound with like those kind of ears up. Like just like, I'm anxious and I want you to know it.
I've been a quiet Klingon before.
Once actually.
Klingons, what they're up to. Don't do that. Why not? Because I don't want them to know we're onto them. So.
I love that little bit of character there from Chief.
They might be your allies, but they're not mine. Relax.
You're also business, Quark, so yeah, shut the fuck up, man.
So, what brings you here, General?
Valid question. But first, let's be sure we are all safe.
I love the point of view of sitting on the table.
There is one disappointing thing for me about the Klingons in Next Generation Deep Space Nine. Is that they don't have pink blood.
Yeah, I thought that was just like, did we ever get to the bottom of like whether like I know like the whole idea of like Vulcans having green blood is that their blood chemistry is literally different to humans.
Yes.
But I wonder, was that just a thing for the movie to like get past an age rating? Or was it just like,
well, no, because there was real blood. Because when Cartwright, Admiral Cartwright's, when Odo essentially, when he played the captain, that dressed up as a Klingon, he had red blood flowing out the back of his head when he died. So it was to distinguish who was Klingon and who was human.
Yeah,
but I'm disappointed that they didn't continue. I was like, I liked that idea. It was kind of like, if you think about it, it's like the one kind of, we'll say, flowery thing about the Klingons is that their blood is pink.
Yeah, I actually just checked there. Actually, yeah. So the pink blood was to get around an age rating.
Really? Okay.
Yep, that was it. Apparently, the move there would have been a stricter because of the shootout and the blood and the viscera and stuff like that. That would make it pink, so then it wouldn't look as gory. Then, so I think the undiscovered country then would have been marked as like PG-13. I think.
Oh, okay. They wanted just a PG rating.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's not real.
You're saying this to his face? That's disgusting. Kira doesn't believe in holographic rights.
I love how she talks about holograms like that. I'd be like, I would be all over holodeck. I'd be like, that'd be the realest shit for me ever. I'm like, I could go to Disneyland every day.
Yeah.
Every day. And that's just a nice part of my brain. I'd imagine the other part.
That's what the holosuites are for. That's a different story altogether.
That's what a housewait's for. To have a good time.
As opposed to showing your ignorance of holograms, you herf.
You're You're hurt. Christ.
Fucking J.K. Nerys here in the fucking room. What?
Oh my God.
It's really called for.
Oh.
I think that was that too much, was it?
Yeah, we're getting cancelled.
I said Nerys. I didn't say Kira. That could have made it more on the nose. There's one thing, especially with the way Dax is written. Like I do like the way Dax is written just generally, but you can definitely tell like if this show was done like say like nowadays, if it was a part of the new Trek kind of arc, Dax would be the quintessential pansexual character. Like and because she's kind of written like that in the show as well,
Oh,
really.
absolutely. But then
Yeah,
I loved the episode with the Klingons when she meets Kor.
yeah,
And he said, Corazon, my beloved old friend. She was like, no, I'm actually Jadzia now. And you're like, Jadzia, my beloved old friend. I'm like,
beautiful.
why isn't everybody like that?
Exactly, yeah.
Why isn't everyone like that? That was so good. And the fact it was 1995,
Mm,
30 years ago. And the
yeah.
Klingons were more progressive, they were more liberal than a lot of people nowadays. I'm like, that's crazy.
But
Klingons.
but
Fucking
doesn't just
Klingons.
demonstrate that it demonstrates that that's the subtlety of that's the subtlety writing can give you is the fact that like that it can just be a throwaway line and mean so much. Like
Yeah.
it's a lesson for this is not related to New Trek at all. It's related to all fucking stuff that's written nowadays. You don't have to shove it into people's faces to get what you want. You can just sneak it in there and let people just think about it.
Mm.
That, by the way, is fantastic.
It's fantastic, but I've always looked at that and went, that looks delicious.
Yeah.
It looks delicious. There's a lot of stuff on Star Trek that I'm like, I want to try that. There's
Yeah.
the various iterations of Kanar, even the gloopy,
Mm,
like really dark, thick stuff that you see that Tamara's drinking in the
yeah.
6th and 7th season. I really want to try that. Then
Mm,
there was when you see Kanar in this episode that Garrett gets from Quark, it's like
yeah.
an orangey color, and I'm
Yeah.
like, that even looks lovely.
Mm,
Now I don't like the root beer. Now that can fuck off because root beer is
yeah.
horrible.
We'll be
How anyone can drink that is beyond me. Ugh.
American
Jesus.
van.
The least said about him, the better, I think.
Oh no, not Morn. You need Morn out of this. He's a good boy.
Like, how would anyone like? Why leave Morn alone?
Be fair, Morn never shuts the fuck up on this show. I can see why the Klingons
Yeah.
are
In
fucking
fairness, yeah.
mouth.
Now I have never gotten this. Okay, it's the one thing about the writing in Star Trek I've never got. Everyone has a fucking universal translator, so how can he be speaking Klingon?
Yeah. I think the logic is that the Universal Translator for Starfleet has Klingon in it. So to be
Yeah.
able to pick up Klingon over the generations to be able to talk to them.
Yeah.
This station. Oh, I don't know how long we'll be continuing this conversation from inside a holding cell.
As long as you wear that Bajoran uniform, we're allies. Next
I can see all the Klingons have gone to the Robert Rooney School for Crazy Eyes.
Mm. There was a time that everybody like wanted to do the same. You wanted to do Gowron Eyes.
Yeah.
Everybody. And I'm like, you can try, but you're not going to get it right.
Yeah, it depends. Obviously, Robert Rooney has the condition where his eyes are so bulging, but like, I think when you're wearing under prosthetics, you kind of have to in order for the face for your facial expressions to
Yeah.
stand out.
Well, case in point is Quark.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think even Andrew Robinson does a little bit as well under his especially when he's like gone full Garrick and he's doing the hello, the kind of proverbial peacocking, you know.
Constable Odo and Captain Sisko expressed similar concern, but really, Doctor, there was no harm done. They broke 7 of your transverse ribs and fractured your clavicle. But I got off several cutting remarks, which no doubt did serious damage to their
Fucking brilliant line. That'll teach him.
Honest to God, I would want a show just with him.
Yeah.
Have you read A Stitch in Time?
Restrict in Time?
A Stitch in Time. It's his book.
No, I haven't actually. No,
You need to.
it's a good read. Yeah.
Even if it's a thing that you like your audiobooks because it's narrated by him.
Oh, even better. Yeah.
And it's fantastic because you finally get a backstory as to who Garrick is and where he came from.
Mm.
And it gives you a whole new perspective on him.
Yeah.
And you don't think less of him, you think even more. You're like, holy fuck.
I have heard about that about Andrew Robertson is that he has a character Bible for every person he plays, which is incredible detail.
But the
Like
detail he puts into this book for Garrick, Jesus,
mad stuff.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
Been able to identify at least 20 different warships in the vicinity.
20, me hole. There was 20 in one section alone. There's about 50 or 60 ships there. Will you stop?
Yeah.
Jeebus.
Is she like has she got like a Dougal situation? Goes, listen, Captain, I've no eye for numbers, but at least 60 million warships out there. Sorry, Kira, my woman is angry. Oh, no, sorry, I was talking to Kira in this.
Scanners are detecting the Zoza at bearing 017 Mark 346. I'm picking up another ship. It's got a tractor beam on the Zoza.
On stream.
Up, them Klingons again.
Up to fucking at it again. They're at it again.
Patience.
Hail the Klingon vessel.
But even this
Job.
is so unbelievably out of character for Klingons. You're like,
It is.
what? You at this point, you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, there's definitely something not right. Like everything they've done is not what we're used to so far.
Yeah. Which then this is the hindsight thing, and then the consequence that we're talking about brings us all the way to the first episode of season 5.
Yes.
And about what we find out there. You're like,
yeah.
That's
the fact
what
that
it was.
planted in this particularly busy episode says so much as well.
Majoran law strictly prohibits any unwarranted search and seizure of vessels in our territory.
I have mine.
So I'm just going to ignore you.
Zoza.
Major, raise shields. Power up the forward phasers, see if that gets their attention.
Shields up. Forward phasers standing by. They're still not releasing the tractor beam.
Fire warning shot 200 meters off their starboard bow.
Yes, sir. Commander Kabak would like to speak with you.
I agree.
Again, what type of response is that from a Klingon?
Yeah, at this time we're cool. Like,
Lock phasers on charged engines. Prepare to fire on my command.
Loves fire on engines, that man, doesn't he?
no, he's he needs so Picard is one of those ones that let's disarm this person sportingly. Cisco, let's kick him in the fucking balls.
Yeah.
Literally,
But as somebody in this episode points out, it's not very effective targeting engines.
no.
I don't know what you said to those Klingons, but it must have been good.
Is everyone all right?
Threaten them with death.
Everyone's fine. We're just delivering all these weapons to, grain to the settlers.
Yeah. Yeah. No, the vaccines. 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 Vaccines.
Don't get me started on that. Jesus Christ.
To be fair, there's a lot of them that's not being used.
The ships that are there and they're surrounding the station. When you ask me, ours 20
Jerry, I counted at least 21
million.
Yeah, 21. But they're all in the one space. They're all just there on camera side.
General Martin.
There's a little touch there as well as Cisco's old ship in the cast there in the model.
But that's not the Saratoga. That is like a
It's a different one.
Nebula class. It's like a Nebula class ship.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I want to know what ship that is.
Hmm.
Commander K-Box.
Why did he give it to me?
He's letting you know K-Box dead. Martok probably had him executed for disobeying orders.
Which means our next confrontation with the Klingons will be resolved so easily. Any suggestions, old man?
The longer the Klingons are here, the worse things they're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
Decide to do, you better do it soon.
Turns out told me once that in the long run, the only people who can really help Klingons are Klingons. Get me Starfleet Command.
I've got a trump card to play. Okay, there's at least 20 ships in that shot. You made a point of this now. Let me check it every...
There was 27. Ask me how.
Recurring score.
There he is. You.
There's the man himself.
It'll be a long time. Too long.
I was hoping you wouldn't be here.
A Klingon.
Quark, don't you have like an anti-immigration protest to be at? For fuck's sake, man. Will you just give it over? Jesus Christ, man. Frankenaar is full.
It's good to have you aboard.
I loved you in Generations, Mr. Worf.
I was sorry to hear about the Enterprise. Yes, sir. I understand.
And may I say, whoever was piloting it on the final day was a fucking shit show.
Discussions first, enlightening.
Did you touch a time crystal? Can you tell us what happens in Picard season 3?
It's assignment. It's almost over. Have any idea where you'd be stationed next? I'm considering resigning my commission. Brief. What? I've spent most of my life among humans. It's not always been easy for me. And since the destruction of the Enterprise, it's become even more difficult. I'm no longer sure I belong in this uniform.
I know a lot of people kind of made the point of it, but like when Worf says he loves the Enterprise, he really does fucking mean it. Like there is a genuine like it is one thing you like. I think all Klingons adore love their ships to begin with because like look at the fucking rust buckets that some of them are still carrying into war now, but like the fact that like Worf cannot resist going back to the Enterprise in his various guises says so much. Like if it's not the D, it's ending up captaining the E and presumably crashing it somewhere based off season 3. And then who knows? At this point, we might have had to go with the F. Maybe he just didn't like the cut of its jib. I don't know.
You never know.
Hmm.
He wouldn't have liked the G. The weapon systems weren't up to scratch.
Neo Constellation, let's get that woke nonsense out of my face.
The thing is, I have for and against arguments for that ship.
Yeah.
Mostly for because I think I did a lovely ship. But there's definitely things against. Yeah, there's definitely things against it. You know.
Yes. Hang on.
Still.
If you say so.
If my old bartender laughed at me about prune juice.
Further. We're here. Dr. Julian Bashir, Lieutenant Commander Wolf. Captain Dogs.
Not play games.
It's like poker, but with pointed tips.
No, we're nothing like poker, Chief.
I think he's had a few too many Syntahols.
Yeah.
Or Sintales, what it's fucking called. Broke me fucking board, the bastard.
She knocked out Lancelot. He kissed me. He's supposed to kiss you. I was playing a married woman.
Lieutenant. I apologize. That's Major Kieran Reese.
The fact that this is how he meets his future wife is hilarious.
Nice hat.
Michael Dorn's comedic timing is genuinely so underrated.
Yeah.
I'm glad they leaned it. When they did Picard season 3, I'm delighted they leaned into it so much.
So much.
Yeah.
He starts listing off his whole record. Would you like some tea and lemon?
Would you like some chamomile tea? Do you take sugar? What is this? Swords are fun.
So,
Oh, she's making eyes already. Look, you know it's bad when Morn is heading off.
excuse
Yeah.
me.
It's like, fuck this, I'll drink a few cans in my room.
Yeah. There's always a part of me, you know, when you see like a character like that's in a show but belongs in another. I really do think that Morn should have been in King of the Hill at some point. Like you can kind of see there as just beside fucking Boomhauer, can't you? Like,
Oh, 100%.
yeah.
You look.
Washa. Yeah, you try and fight back. I studied in the I studied under Captain Picard. Never mind.
And then we see this for the first time.
Yeah.
And this will also be the third actor to portray Alexander. The third fucking actor.
Oh, stuff. There's certainly a conversation to be had at some point to see if Alexander was the most wasted potential of a character in Star Trek. But perhaps maybe that might be just be Wesley in the end.
Oh, yes. Boat next gem, so.
Yeah.
You cannot take away what someone does not have.
You're saying my son is without honor.
I am saying your son is a coward and a liar.
And what of his father?
Nice shot. Fine hat.
He is a terribly nice man, I will say that.
Yeah.
But he's eccentric as fuck.
I think it has to be if you're gonna be like doing something like fucking these characters. In fairness, like,
Exactly. He's not quite Avery Brooks, but he's close.
yeah.
One of your matters because you refuse to fire on a Federation ship.
Whatever we have done is in the best interest of the Alpha Quadrant.
You must think me a fool to make your lies so transparent.
I do not wish to quarrel with you, Orf.
Nor I with you. The House of Wartalk is an honored one, with a proud tradition, but I must know why you are here.
I'm here under the authority of Galwan himself. I'm carrying out his orders. That should be all the explanation a Klingon warrior needs.
You forget. I am not only a Klingon warrior. I'm a Starfleet officer, and Starfleet deserves an explanation.
Soon enough. Until then, my mission determine the fate of the Klingon Empire. Interfere and risk destroying its all.
That's really the only.
You know that scene is so fucking good when the two of us don't utter a word until they stop talking. Wow.
It's fine. It is finally like, okay, now
32 ships there. 32.
Actually, it's 33. You missed one there under the.
But I knew it. I knew it.
They keep multiplying, man. They need to fucking crack on, like.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just actually trying to do this Skeletor knocking off the Jura fighting. In your phone.
So, how did you like the program?
I found it adequate. Although I was surprised to find a Klingon exercise program on the holosuite.
It's mine.
Curzons.
Well, White, that's mine. Computer, Batlin. Thought you might be tired of fighting holograms.
That'd be a fair match.
Oh, Worf.
Well,
Ever very much underestimating women since Tasha Yar.
Like he goes all in immediately, like
Yeah.
fucking hell, ease into it, will you? Jesus.
Nope. Calisthenics for a reason, dude. Serious business.
Things that he easier. Man, and time.
Hmm. Leg sweep.
I take it your conversation with General Hartung and all that.
he was not forthcoming. He is not the only one. I tried to contact Dalron, Emperor Kalas, even my brother who sits on the High Council. No one will speak with me.
Maybe you're going about this the wrong way. With so many Klingons around, there must be someone who owes your family a favor.
Pints. Let's get pissed, boys.
Oh, see, the very first time we hear this song, but this song is sung so many times after this episode.
It's mad,
And
isn't
I'm
it?
like, is it just because they love the song or is it because they're lazy and they don't want to write another Klingon song?
I think it's probably a mixture of it too, where like it's like when they say for an episode, it's like, oh, this is a proper like Klingon ballad. So they always keep going to it then because they've established it's a well-known Klingon ballad.
Yeah.
Hmm.
In the Federation.
Come on, drunk Klingon, give us a plot.
One of the best laughs from a Klingon I've ever heard.
Genuinely think he
And
might.
he was only in the show for some total of 40 seconds.
Yeah. Genuinely think he could have been cast on the laugh alone.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, I need a cantankerous old Klingon. Laugh for me.
That may be, but you can't stay up here forever. Sooner or later, you're going to have to talk to Captain Sisko. Whatever it is you found out about the Klingons, he should be the first to know.
It's spying on me.
As Chief of Security, it's my duty to observe the inhabitants of this station. Since your arrival, you've transmitted an average of 5 messages a day to the Klingon homeworld, none of which has got a response. Then, last night, you met with a Klingon officer in your quarters. Since then, you haven't sent a single message. In fact, you've done nothing to further your investigation of the Klingon task force.
None of which is your business.
The security of the station is my business.
Hmm.
Your behavior.
What happens when two security officers clash heads?
The old found something. Something so disturbing that you're hesitant to inform Captain Sisko.
I'm not interested anymore.
Yeah, the way you snapped your neck there, Worf, suggests that maybe he's on the ball.
I just wanted to say I understand what you're going through. I've also had to choose between duty and loyalty to my people.
Yes, I've read your Starfleet security file.
Frankly, Mr. Worf, I don't care which choice you make, but you owe it to Captain Sisko to let him know which side you're on before it's too late. Enjoy the view.
A great scene to establish what their relationship is going to be for the full season.
Yeah.
They constantly clash throughout the year, and then maybe what, season 5 or 6, they're on the same page, thereabouts.
Where's Captain Sisko?
I think he's
I need to talk to him now. Cardassia. Why would the Klingons want to invade Cardassia? According to my
And ding, 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 we've got it.
Cardassia, the Central Command has been overthrown and power transferred to civilian authorities. Even if your source is correct, what does that have to do with the Klingons? Galron and the High Council believe the coup was engineered by the Dominion. Do they have any proof? Not that I know of. But they are convinced that civilians could not have overthrown the Central Command without help. So, by attacking Cardassia, they think they're protecting the Alpha Quadrant from the Dominion. Just go to Dax. Contact General Marshall. Tell him I need to meet with him immediately.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna wax my head. I feel like kicking some ass.
I know this hasn't been so. But I knew this day would come again, and I'd be forced to choose between the Federation and the Klingon Empire. Maybe you don't have to make that choice. Just you. I don't think there's any need for you to be there back. I would prefer to be there. I cannot avoid responsibility for what I have done today.
Do you want tea, biscuits? What would you rather? Like, we can provide a board. We can get cock. We can get fresh cock if you want to.
General, how am I going to give information?
I think it is, and so will Gowan.
General, I want you to call off this attack.
And what you propose to do instead? Stand by and allow the Dominion to take over the Alpha Quadrant?
You have no proof that there are any thumbs on Cardassia.
The change in government is all the proof we need.
And what if you are wrong?
That would be unfortunate for the Cardassians.
General, the Federation Council has made it clear to me that they cannot support your plans to attack Cardassia.
You saying the Federation will sit back and do nothing? While Klingon soldiers give their lives to protect the Alpha Quadrant?
Starfleet will not participate in an unprovoked invasion.
Then the victory will be ours. Alone.
General, I would advise you to reconsider.
Look, I'm doing the thing. When I do the thing, you have to listen. Or else, the back of the hand starts getting warmed up.
We have no wish to antagonize your people.
Then call off the attack.
Yeah, and all the fucking 20 plus ships around the station, they can all fucking leave as well.
Decision.
I'm only a week on the station. I've already betrayed my people. If I do that 2 more times, I get past with my record on the Enterprise. Oh, on sketch.
Send a message. Just one more. And chop.
Uh-oh.
Klingon ships are going for war.
Plot their course?
Judging from the vector of the subspace disturbance, I'd say their heading is 269 Mark 032.
Cardassia.
Uh-oh. Problem. Well, lads, it's war. War has begun. Of all the assignments in Starfleet, I can't imagine there's going to be anything as busy as Deep Space Nine. Like, it is literally in the middle of fucking everywhere. Like, protecting Bajor, like protecting a wormhole in a launch pad to like 4 different star clusters between Cardassia, the Romulan Star Empire, Klingons, and Starfleet.
What if the Dominion has taken over Cardassia. If my people wanted to seize control of Cardassia, that is how they would do it.
Who could have happened just as easily without ours. The Cardassian dissident has been gaining strength for years. With the Obsidian Order out of the way, they might have finally.
I imagine the energy of this would be very similar. Again, speaking of someone who was born in the 90s, like the energy of this would be very similar to how like the news like filtered out about like the Soviet Union, where you hear like, oh, this premier is gone and this new person's taken over. So we have no idea how he's taken over, what seedy deals he's done to do that, but well, he's here now. And then likewise, you can imagine the Soviet Union had the similar kind of like vein of thought of like, oh, there's a new American president. Oh, which side of the fucking coin is he on? No one knows. Oh well.
Yeah.
What good would it do the Klingons to defeat Cardassia if they don't control the wormhole?
It's also nice, refreshing as well to see like Starfleet not knowing what's going on as well, because it's a trick they always fall a lot into in the Next Generation where they know everything going into the episodes. But we know that
Exactly.
we know there's a new fucking Praetor in the Romulan Empire, stuff like that. Whereas they are literally flying blind here. The news is not traveling outside of Cardassia, which is correct. Like that's the way it kind of should operate, you know. Weird enough, like the idea of like actual journalism doesn't really kick in until like all the new Trek stuff, where they say, no, journalists still exist in the 24th century.
Mm.
It just takes a different form.
Well, we know they do from Picard.
Yeah, exactly. But like even then, like it's traditional like, journalists as they would be now, like 21st century, like you know, like essentially TV, like news anchors, essentially. Whereas like the journalists you'd be thinking of would probably be like, more like Jay Sisko, actually just following his nose and being a news hound. This is a phenomenal scene as well. If there's one scene I love from this episode, it is this one.
Mm-hmm.
Klingons almost a third.
How long before they reach their target? According to our estimates, the task force should enter Cardassian space within the hour.
Believe I have everything I need.
Excellent. It's they have such a wonderful dynamic, like Garrick and the rest of the crew, because like everyone knows everyone knows what level they're playing on here. They know Garrick is as delicious as anything, and then Garrick is more like Boy Scouts. But there's an understanding there. Like this is when that relationship works.
I love the fact as well. It's like Garrick is so desperate, he contacts Ducat. And the fact that they hate each other, and the reason they hate each other is well outlined.
Yes.
In the book, The Stitch in Time.
Oh yeah.
Well outlined. Yeah.
Okay. But much of that point, like if Garrick is making contact with Ducat, you know it's bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would not call your mortal enemy unless it is something genuinely like cataclysmic.
Don't count the time. The Klingon fleet will reach Cardassian territory in less than 1 month. Just to prepare for them.
Based on Klingon transmissions, the outlying Cardassian colonies were open almost. But now that the Cardassian fleet is mobilized, the Klingons are meeting strong resistance. You'd almost think somebody warned the Cardassians they were coming. Hopefully, it'll make them think twice about what they're doing.
Unlikely, Major. Now that the battle has begun, Martok and his troops will settle for nothing less than victory.
It's like just one big game of Risk, really.
Federation Council said they've decided to condemn the Klingon invasion. In response, Gowron has expelled all Federation citizens from the Klingon Empire and recalled his ambassadors from the Federation.
They're saying he cut off diplomatic relations.
He's done more than that. The Klingons have withdrawn from the Kittimer Accords. The peace treaty between the Federation and the Klingon Empire is ended. Captain.
Worf like, right, I better go.
Ship just depot Alpha Quadrant is requesting permission to dock. They claim they have Chancellor Gowron on board, and he is demanding to speak with Mr. Warren personally.
We have a soldier left behind enemy lines. We've come to get him back.
Just now. Wish to speak to me.
He's quite a short Klingon, all things considered, isn't he? He's like a
Yeah.
little.
Seems right. But I do not apologize for my acts.
Did what you both like. Some enemies. I assure you, I am not one of them.
I'm glad.
Sure, hon.
Your friendship
Sure,
means
hon.
much.
And yours to me. It has been too long since you last fought at my side. Now the time has come again. Great deeds in the coming days. Deeds worthy of song.
You want me to go to Cardassia with you?
What better? So,
Wolf, look into my eyes. Tell me what I see.
Why do you stand there like a mute block? I have offered you a chance for glory. All you have to do is take it.
If there's any glory to be won, Gawa, it'll have to be yours alone. I cannot come with you.
Of course you can. It is where you belong.
I cannot abandon my post.
You no longer have a post. You have no place on that station and no business wearing that uniform.
The angrier he gets, the bigger his eyes go. It's fucking tremendous. Can't stop looking at them with it mesmerizing.
Not what I owe them that matters. It is what I owe myself. Worf, son of Mo, does not break his word.
What do you debt to me? Are you saying you owe me nothing? You took back your name, restored your house, gave your family a seat on the High Council, and this is how you repay me?
It is true. I owe you a great debt. Give up my life for you. But invading Cardassia is wrong, and I cannot support it.
I've always considered you a friend and an ally. And because you are my friend, I am giving you one last chance to redeem yourself. Come with me.
Take my
I
hand.
cannot.
Let's sing Foreigner together on the bridge.
If you turn your back on me now, as long as I live, and marry them.
Oh, that's fine. That won't be an issue until about 3 years' time.
And you're hey,
And we will annex Tony Todd from the Klingon homeworld. Shit, forgot about that. Well, it's something quite ironic about a Klingon holding to his honor and then somehow getting into trouble for it.
Yeah.
But hey, why is there a Patled just there, like hustling and hustling
Yeah.
the wheel?
Very rare you see them.
Yeah.
Very rare.
I'd say the Pat is doing exactly what they always do. It's like, oh, I have no money, I don't know how to play this game, and then cleans up everybody. Do you think Worf would be a pint man or an ale man? It feels like I think he'd be a stout man. I think.
Worf?
Yeah,
Stout man.
I think he'd be stout.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Touch and go.
Sure, even Colomini's very fucking he likes the old stout every now and then, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Shame no one on Strange New Worlds does.
The aging sons.
Although that fucking did you see the state of that point? Gee, Jesus.
Let's not go there. Let's not go there.
Desperate.
I do like Strange New Worlds, but it's tested me this season. It really has.
I have made up my mind. It's for the best.
I know how much you miss the Enterprise. But I'm sure they'll be building a new one soon.
It will not be the same. The enterprise I knew is gone.
You could just go to another Galaxy class starship. Like,
Hmm.
there's loads of them around. Well, you can go to the Odyssey.
This adventure's going to be here in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And in fairness, when you look at the Enterprise and the Venture, they are two different Galaxy classes.
They are. Yeah.
And the Venture would be the one that you would say, Worf would go for that one because it has more weapons.
Yes.
It's more built for combat than the Enterprise was.
Mm.
Like you can actually see the difference when you see the ship in this episode.
Yeah.
All you have to do is look at the nacelles.
Mm.
And that's the first change you see is the nacelles, is that there's phaser strips on the nacelles.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh.
Starfleet is learning. Put more weapons on the ship.
In fairness, even when you look at the likes of Voyager and even the Titan, you know, I love how Captain Shaw says in it, we're an exploratory vessel, we're not built for combat. The weapons that ship has. Are you joking?
In fairness, the Titan, like Riker's Titan, is a genuine fucking like it's a seriously like powerful ship. Like it's
I don't think Shaw was. It's not that he wasn't being truthful. I just think Shaw was like, I'm not getting into. He was more by the book, and he's like, this is not what I'm supposed to do. So that's essentially, I think, what it was.
Yes.
And I love the little tidbit that we got there recently that if they had gone into production with the Titan or with the Legacy show, that Shaw would have been back as the emergency engineering hologram.
I would have loved that, like because I think Todd Stafford really did earn himself a role there. He really did.
Oh yeah, I would love to get him for Dublin Comic Con. Oh my god, yes.
Yeah. In fairness, like there's still always hope for the Legacy show. Like Alex Kurtzman's deal is up soon, so you know here's hoping.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I think that is wise. But I do know.
You're a good officer, and you're true critical to the plot right now, so I can't let you go. Besides, you only just got here.
How long before they reach Cardassian planet?
2 hours.
We have heard unconfirmed reports of a naked Gowron dancing on Cardassia Prime. More on this story as we get it.
And install an Imperial overseer down any further resistance. I think
It's pretty comprehensive. Yeah. Good plan. Yeah, fair.
Trying to reach someone in civilian.
And you have succeeded. You are speaking to the new chief military advisor.
As you can tell from the same Cardassian bumbling in and out of the scene to give the impression that there's quite a lot of things going on here. Again, I'm not counting that against the episode. I choose to believe that's the cat telling his underling going, quick, keep going past the screen. It must look like we're busy.
You've got to get those council members to safety before the Klingons reach Cardassian Prime.
I am open to suggestions, Captain.
If you can get a ship and meet me at these coordinates, I'll do what I can to escort you out of the war zone.
That is a very generous offer. I must say I'm touched. By saving the members of the Detapa Council, you will be saving some very...
Get the speech to cut. Just meet me at the right point.
And if the Klingons try to stop us?
Then I'll be there to reason with them. I doubt the Klingons will fire on a Federation ship.
I'm not sure I share your...
Let's test that once, Cisco, shall we?
Sir. Passing government has been taken by the Falcons. We'll be helping them to escape. That's the chance we'll have to take. I know you want to be out of that uniform.
I know you want to be out of that uniform, but can I possibly give you a better, shinier uniform?
Make sure the chief double checks on
It has your favorite color on it, the color of blood.
Blood, yeah. And not the ship blood you had in the movies.
In fairness, it was actually Michael Dorn who said, that's not Klingon blood.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I only watched that film the other day.
Yeah,
Undiscovered Country. That's one of my favorite ones. One of
it's
my
one of
favorite
them.
movies. It's
Yeah,
fantastic.
it's definitely, especially from the original crew. Like it's between that or the Wrath of Khan for the best movie from there.
Oh, 100%. Those Ratakan and Undiscovered Country, two
Mhm.
best original series movies.
For sure.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. There is no two better
Yeah.
than those two. But then for me, my all-time favorite is First Contact.
Yeah, I think it's First Contact would be up there for me. All right. Yeah.
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 And I personally don't like the hate that Insurrection and Nemesis get because I thought they were two good movies as well. Nemesis now it did suffer from somebody who just didn't like Star Trek that was making it. I'm like,
Yeah.
why would you make a Star Trek movie if you don't like it? That's ridiculous.
Yeah. I think the Insurrection was just too much like an episode of Star Trek, which that was the whole point, was that to
Yeah,
make it a movie feel like it was just part of the show again.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, definitely, I think First Contact would be fairly good. All right. Yeah. A little swivel and boom. So, Mama, I'm going to war.
Device is functioning, but they won't.
Set a course for the rendezvous point, maximum warp.
It is such a small thing, but when they do knock on off the lights of the cloak, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
Ship's cloaked around.
Even his reaction here is fantastic.
Yeah.
Is something wrong, Mr. Wong? No, sir. Yes, sir.
Hmm.
It's just never been on a Federation starship that had a cloaking device.
It feels weird. It's wrong and it's against God and nature.
Hmm.
I know it's a
And
very
the fact that it's a Romulan cloaking device, not a Klingon one. It's better.
Worf doesn't need to know that.
Hmm.
Fuck off, Spock. No one asked you.
Now, how do we get from 20 to hundreds?
Well, you see, they were left multiply outside Deep Space Nine, you know?
Fuck off now. I told you there was definitely 37 in one of them shots. Definitely 37.
You know, it's mistakes in the writing like that could really impact on the final score of this episode, you know?
Yeah.
Saying you're not sure.
Well, I see there are two possibilities. Either fine or
Kaboom.
Hope we don't have to find out.
Just a bit of trench humor there from your old pal from the.
Bearing 025, Mark 319. Commander jumps to 140 house.
Hi, Captain.
Appears to be wreckage of a number of Cardassian vessels. On screen.
Confirmed.
signs.
I suppose it's possible. But there's no way to know without decloaking and using our primary sensor array.
Sir, I strongly recommend against that. It is likely there are cloaked Klingon warships in the vicinity, lying in wait.
That doesn't sound very fun to me.
Or there is nothing.
Julian, why are you being the fucking voice of reason here? This is war, sir.
Stop being a whiny little bitch.
Like,
Stupid doctor.
honestly, you're even aware.
Honestly, you wouldn't hear, I tell you, the doctor from Voyager, you wouldn't hear him going on like that. He'd be like, let's go, lads, come on.
Yeah, no, he just switch to red mode, and there you go. I'm in command of the ship now. I love that whoever's in engineering for the Defiant can't chat shit to the captain because he literally designed the ship. He knows how it should work.
Vessel is badly damaged.
Captain, I'm picking up a distress signal from your cot, audio only.
Put it through.
We're at visual range.
On screen. Maximum magnification.
2 decades of peace with the Klingons. It all comes down to this.
Orders, Captain.
Even though I was giving out about him there, that is like the most significant line of the episode, really, from Bashir.
Yeah.
That ship isn't going to last much longer.
Our quantum torpedoes. Drop the cloak and raise shields. Going in.
Very much like one of those roguelike games where like, random encounter. Are you going to take part in this one? Yes, okay. Come on then.
One signal Klingon ship. Tell them to break off their attack and stand down immediately. Message sent. Captain, I find it highly unlikely that the Klingons will heed your...
You're correct, Worf. You're correct.
Shields are holding.
I see your point. Let's show them what they're up against. They'll make a tighter there.
We.
Cassian ship. Put it through.
I must compliment you, Captain. You're nearly Cardassian in your punctuality.
Fire painters!
Picard, power up your engines and prepare to follow us back to DS9.
An excellent suggestion, Captain, assuming we had any engines left.
What's your status?
My aide is too busy to run across the camera. Oh, there you did once. He did once.
Start to beam you over as soon as possible.
You'll have to drop your shields to use your transporters.
Let me worry about that. Cisco out.
And so is your so is your crewmate.
I heard he goes.
Yeah.
To their engines has not proven effective. Very well. Target at your discretion. Aye, sir.
See. Apparently nutshots don't work. Let's just shoot him in the head then. There you go. Lovely. Oh.
Get up.
Get up the yard.
Under fire. Down.
Another Klingon ship has just closed. It is a Watchalong class attack cruiser. Cisco to transport bay. Stand by to beam aboard survivors. Cisco to Bashir. Prepare to receive casualties. And Doctor, have security standing by. I want our guests to undergo blood screenings.
Understood.
Blood screenings. Just in case Martok was right.
Interesting little tidbit there, Francisco.
Hmm?
Down.
Sir, I have a suggestion.
Right, Mr. Worf. The modulated tractor beam's deflecting some of the Klingons' disruptor fire.
Disruptor's effectiveness at 50%. Well done, Mr. Moore. Lower shields. Cisco to transporter bay. Begin emergency transports.
Transport's underway. The ablative armor is holding.
Klingon ships are closing. Armor on the port side is losing integrity. Transporter bay, what's our status?
Captain, this is Picard. Almost half the council members are still aboard my ship. We need at least another minute.
Looks like we're going to find out just how much of a pounding this ship can take. The Klingons have closed to point-blank range.
You start by running out of fucking Starfleet members at this stage.
Forward. Oh, that should make the difference. Side force with DS9. Maximum.
Smash this. Kaboom! Everything's on fire.
Doctor, don't mind. I like to go to the change now. This will only take a minute. Come on, please. Simple blasphemy. I assure you, Doctor, I am not a changeling.
Yes, that's what they all say, Ducat. That's the whole point. He's quite bitchy in this episode, isn't he, Bashir?
Yeah,
I find you offended.
very.
He's not dealing with the situation well, I don't think.
No.
Not happen. My head premium makes me feel unwell.
Looks like I won, Benjamin. You owe me dinner.
And what is that supposed to mean?
Captain Cisco bet me that you would thank him for the rescue before you started complaining.
That was what we call trench humor.
Mm-hmm.
He's not free. That's no matter picture.
We've got company.
I'd suggest you cloak immediately. We'd lost our cloaking device rescuing you.
Touche, Klingon. You know, I had a cousin that was on your ship once, and he said that you were mean to him.
Now, here's the Canara I was talking about earlier on.
Mm.
I don't know what it is. It kind of looks like it's caramel.
Yeah, caramel is what I got there, yeah.
But it is a liquid. It's not like the treacle that the Mard will be drinking in a couple of seasons.
Yeah.
Although I've always loved the bottles.
It's just
Look at that bottle. Like, I had an opportunity to buy some of the glassware from Star Trek while over in Vegas back in 2009 or 2008.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, I'd never get them home. They'd be broken. I regret that so much now.
Yeah. In fairness, there are quite a few places that are doing them as kind of like almost like not like Etsy, but like it's like, oh yeah, we can do like similar kind of prints on them or whatever.
Yeah.
Like the fact that you can get like Picard's like mug fairly handy on Etsy, which is great.
Really, weapons. No questions asked. So person. No. What's accept.
That's the problem with war, isn't it? It just gets in the way of business.
Yeah. Although the 37th rule of acquisition states war is good for business.
Yep.
My only hope of salvation.
Needs to get back to reading this book, I think.
Precisely.
I'm assuming it's some sort of like mango, like tropical
it's a
multivitamin drink.
Yeah. Maybe you're right. Maybe it is just a straight up fucking caramel canar.
It's so bubbly, Lord. Just like the Federation. You know what's really frightening? Drink enough. It's insidious. Just like the Federation. You think they'll be able to save us? I hope so.
Any luck?
Not yet.
The show is really peppered with like really nice, really good scenes like that. Just little like, how are these two characters feeling in this moment?
Yeah.
It's like when you know you have a double episode, like and you know you have the time to let things breathe a little bit. It's very, very good. Been very, very good at those little character moments.
Yes, sir. I think we're done. I wish we could have tested them first. No time but the present.
Ray shields. Red alert.
Well, I can't be sure, of course, but my guess would be Klingons. The Klingons! First it was the Cardassians. Then it was the Dominion. Now it's the Klingons. How's a Ferengi supposed to make an honest living in a place like this?
You can't. Point, just simple as like the way the Vortex is just kind of looming slower than the is very good. Just very sinister level to it.
It needs to be seen. Klingons do not give up easily. 2 ships against the station. I don't think they'd risk it.
It may not be much of a risk.
Why do you say that?
They've got friends.
Yeah, yeah. You think they were going to come with just 2 ships?
Now there's more than 20 fucking there now.
I counted at least 10. See,
Several dozen. See,
okay,
several dozen.
Right, are you happy now? That's at least 24.
When will they get here? Not soon.
The Klingon ships have raised their shields and charged their weapons.
What are your orders, Captain?
There is one thing I do find funny
Hmm.
about the relief force from Admiral Mahaster.
Yeah.
They sent 6 ships
Yeah.
against the fleet. 6 fucking ships.
Yeah.
What were they thinking?
That shows you how much.
And the fact that 2 of them are Miranda classes, so they're over 100-year-old ships.
Yeah.
What were they thinking?
It shows
Jesus.
you how much they gave a shit about Deep Space Nine, or perhaps how much they underestimated the Klingon fucking flotilla.
There's an argument that obviously the Federation ships are more advanced.
Yeah.
But still, like the only 2 advanced ships I think in the flotilla were a Nebula class and then a Galaxy class. The others were Miranda and Excelsior. I'm like,
The Excelsior still was quite like quite a fucking phenomenal ship though, even for the time.
true, but against the Vorchak class attack cruiser or the Negvar.
Yeah. You could also argue like those ships like do get retrofitted a lot. So even though the overall chassis is still a Miranda class, it still would have a decent phaser array. Like and like Miranda one, I remember the Miranda class is quite versatile. So you can have like a sensor array, you can do like a phaser array, whatever you want to do at the top of it. So ultimately it is you can tailor the Miranda to whatever you want. So skeleton crew, make it just like out like lay a shit ton of phasers. Like you could get away with it, like, you know. But as you said, like I think the objection would be more so the sheer lack of ships they sent to quell this attack on what is essentially meant to be the bulwark from Cardassia against Bajor.
Yeah, like if you say to yourself, if they'd have sent say 15,
yeah,
that number is a bit better, and it's more of a deterrent. It's not for them to attack; it's more of a deterrent. Leave, or we will attack. We will open fire.
I think time-wise, are they still a little bit cagey with the Borg around this time? Because that might explain the lack of commitment on the ship front.
This one would have been no. This was just obviously after Generations.
Yes,
so they were still kind of building the Borg fleet.
Yes.
So you had the Akiras, the Sabres, the Norways, the Defiance. So they're building them. So they would have had those ships readily available.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
And so it begins.
I love this bit.
That's close enough, Gary. I wanted to make sure that the council members were safe.
Oh, hello. This is my caught in the act pose. Do you like it?
I take it your concern is motivated strictly by patriotism.
Oh, the council members are well aware of my patriotism and the sacrifices I was willing to make in order to save them. Now, why don't you go back to your little tailor shop and sew something?
Sick burn to cut.
This station, you may just be my help. Who would have thought that the 2 of us would be fighting side by side? I'll try to keep that in mind.
I love that the 2 like Starfleet guards go like, "This is gonna be good, lads. This is gonna be good. It'll probably kill us, but it's gonna be funny." It was a very, very small thing, but seeing them all getting handed out their phasers just
Yeah.
it's small little attention to detail there.
Mhm.
Question.
Is of no consequence. All that matters is the Alpha Quadrant disabled with the Klingon Empire in control of Cardassian. Now, surrender the council members, or we will have no choice but to take them by force.
And risk an all-out war with the Federation?
The war starts here, the blame will be yours.
I doubt very much history will agree.
History is written by the victors.
Exactly.
That's what you're doing, Captain. The lives of everyone on your station are at risk.
I'm aware of that. But maybe you're not aware of what you're risking. We've had a year to prepare the station for a Dominion attack, and we're more than ready.
You're like a toothless old Krishna cat.
You really do underestimate the fact that we do have an Irishman as the chief of engineering.
This
You know,
old cat may not be as toothless as you think. Right now, I've got 5,000 photon torpedoes armed and ready to launch.
I'm sorry, but that's a scary number.
that's a yes. That's a yes. That's a fortress.
Trick. Illusion created by Thoron fields and uranium shadows.
None of which exist.
We shall see. Catch up. Just cut.
He said, today is a good day to die.
Suppose that one didn't really need translation, really did it? And away we go.
Target the lead ships.
The budget for this
Oh.
episode must have been fucking astronomical.
They really have thrown everything at this episode. Like
Yeah.
it is a proper kitchen sink approach. And yet they've been very efficient in other departments as well. Like I'm gonna get to it when I'm talking about the scoring. But a lot of it's been maximizing what they have without necessarily doing anything extravagant.
We're still closing.
Ready bases. Standing by.
The frenzied music is
Fucking
fucking incredible.
so good, man.
This view here.
Damage.
8, that's nearly 20.
Maybe enter this.
It's more than 20.
More than 20.
Not responding.
I have given you your answer, Captain. Weapons stations. Fire at will.
No. That's it. Like I want you to point about the Miranda class as being so old. Like a lot of those Klingon ships are twice as old, really.
Yeah.
But they are like a lot of it is getting scrapped here. Like whee!
Disable 2 of our shield generators.
Fight time. I love that Chief as well, like winding back to shooting some fuckers. And fixing replicators for fucking 10 years. Give me something to kill. Whee! That's transition. Oh,
Thank you, Doctor. Anytime.
I just popped out for a ration. Is everything all right? Fucking shooting gallery. Oh, it's fantastic. Who knew that like double axe handles would be so effective in space?
Yeah. God,
Warfare.
he really is a badass, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, yes, sir.
And poor Chief O'Brien gets battered again.
Yeah. For once, it's actually Worf that actually wins in a fight because he's always the one that loses the fight to get across the threats. Now, finally, he's actually like winning for once. That wasn't part of Michael Dorn's contract to get onto the show. It's like, look, he needs to at least win one fucking fight. All right, he needs to get rid of the punch at least one of them being in the face, or at least save the day once.
Yeah.
And stop denying me things. Let the captain agree with just one of his conditions.
Get those shields back on.
He's like, "You all right, Chief? Do your fucking job."
As your grandmother used to say, get up the yard.
Cisco to Odo. Status report.
Here's Odo live at the scene here when the war is breaking out on the promenade. And now the weather.
Reading a cluster of warp signatures approaching, bearing 187 mark 025. It's Starfleet, Benjamin. 6 starships led by the Venture. They'll be here in 15 minutes.
Contact the big.
Like, he breathes a sigh of relief for 6 ships.
Hmm.
There's a fucking fleet attacking your station.
To be
Although
fair,
I suppose he's thinking the station and 6 ships should
Yeah.
defeat the fleet.
well, that's the thing. Like, he got to clear now the majority of the fleet as it is. So,
Technically 7 ships. You still have the Defiant.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Defiant's not even been used yet.
You're facing. Is that what you really want? The Empire is not strong enough to fight the Federation and the Cardassians. End this now, Gowron, before you lead the Empire to its worst defeat in history. We will not surrender. This is exactly what the Founders want. Klingon against Cardassian. Federation against Klingon. The more we fight each other, the weaker we'll get, and the less chance we have against the Dominion. Consider what you do here, Gowron. Keyless himself said, destroying an empire to win a war is no victory.
Ending a battle to save an empire is no defeat.
We can still win! Not before those starships get here. Now what do you want me to tell them? To stand down or to come in firing?
It is we who shall stand down.
No, not so.
Enough. Ceasefire. Order our ships in Cardassian territory to halt their advance. I do not intend to hand victory to the Dominion. But let your people know. The Klingon Empire will remember what has happened here. You have sided against us in battle. And this, we do not forgive. Or forget.
Even pressing the button, he's like, "Rrr."
He really does have goblin energy, doesn't he, Algaron? I see what you mean now with the nacelles.
Yeah.
The
The Venture was the test. The Venture was the test ship
okay.
or a more upgraded Galaxy class.
Right.
And,
the Dreadnought almost.
So yeah, so whenever you see ships during the Dominion War and stuff like that, they have Venture upgrades.
Gotcha.
They got the Venture pack essentially.
Yeah. Oh, thank God Morn's alive.
Imagine he wasn't. Imagine his bar tab. Jesus Christ.
To be fair, I was expecting Morn to be like defending the bar, like with a big fucking Tommy gun or something.
You would think so. Come on. He stands there with a stick. He's like, oh my God, that's what Chewbacca looks like with no hair? What the hell?
Miscellaneous John Goodman noises.
Thank you, sir.
By the way, you look great in blue.
Stand. The Nigerite Alliance. Yes. Leave this afternoon.
You know that's a terrible name, Worf, don't you?
Instruction. Why did you change your mind? I finally realized that it wasn't Starfleet I wanted to get off. I was trying to escape after my wife's death. I thought I could take the uniform. Running may help, but sooner or later the pain catches up. And the only way to get rid of it is to stand your ground. Or that uniform must remind you that you have lost. Sometimes. It also reminds me of what I've gained and who I am. Oh, I can throw away the uniform, resign my commission, run all the way to the ladder.
You too? Did you know what? There would be a lovely little paradox, like a parallel universe, where like a couple of seasons ago, where you had that kind of like that Cisco quandary with the Maquis. It'd be fascinating to see Cisco as leader of the Maquis.
They'd have won.
Wouldn't they? Like they definitely would have had like the gallstones to be able to actually fucking get what they wanted from Federation. There'd be an interesting little timeline there I'd like to see.
Yeah. There's a comic waiting to be written.
Isn't it now? There you go.
In fact, the captain of the Venture is a friend of mine. If you'd like, talk to him. See if he has an opening for lieutenant commander.
And the Venture is an upgraded galaxy.
Mm-hmm. They have a calisthenics room. It'll take a bit of getting used to, especially in the old uniform. Once they switch to the greys, it's all very natural.
See your post. Yes, sir. You look good in red. It feels good. Want to learn about command.
Well, couldn't ask for a better teacher.
He breaks the rules all the time. It's great.
I've spoken with several members of the Utapa Council. They've returned to Cardassia Flight without incident and want me to convey to you their personal thanks.
Would have thought I'd help save the Cardassian government.
Don't worry. I'm sure Gul Dukat will take all the credit. Oh, Garak. Dukat's a hero, and Garak's still stuck in his tail shell having trousers.
Captain, I'm receiving a Priority 1 message from Starfleet Intelligence. The Klingons are refusing to give up several of the Cardassian colonies they've seized during the invasion. They're fortifying their positions and deploying open defensive systems. Looks like the Klingons are here to stay.
Maybe they are. But so are we.
And that sets us up for season 4. There you go.
Easiest 100 we ever get. Thanks, folks. Night. See you later. Good luck.
Oh, is it?
Listen, we're watching it now. It's going to be very interesting how this actually pans out. But I have high hopes here. I do have high hopes.
Yeah, it's a phenomenal watch. It really, really is. As I said in the preamble, I think it's the closest to a movie Deep Space Nine ever gets to. Like, if all was missing was that like final sign off scene for a movie, and that was it. That was the episode.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
They have some great two-parters, but there's no two-parter in the whole 7 seasons that's essentially done like a movie. This is the only one, and it's so fucking good.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's absolutely well done. It's an absolute fucking work. Like, because I said, what we've learned, especially from watching two-parters on this show, is that sometimes every now and then, like the two-parters lose a bit of pace in the middle. You know, there's a little bit of speed loss. There's a little bit of it loses a bit of friction in between or something, and it just loses its form. There's none of that here. Like
No.
it keeps it up from start to finish, and that is genuinely a an achievement in that front because it's so hard to do. It's just so hard to like keep everyone's attention, that long. But more supposedly, it's just like as I said, like there's a such thing as momentum, and especially for like such a particularly busy, um, like episode for 93 minutes, you're getting a lot of work done in this time. So you can be forgiven in saying like, okay, well, we need to like slow down a little bit here, and then maybe get the mistake, get it wrong on this front, and it loses its fizz. I'm thinking like Best of Both Worlds. Once Picard is captured, the threat's kind of gone. Really,
Yeah.
that sense of danger doesn't really kind of really become apparent, But sure, look, that's what we're here for. Anyway, is to review this and see if it actually does hold up or not. So we'll get to that, but first I have some extracurricular activities to jump into. So normally on this show, if you're new to this episode, to this series, we are 40 episodes in, so indulge me here for a moment. What we normally do is we normally check out any of the kind of extracurricular things, such as any ships that we've seen already on the show. Well, we've already done that, basically because every Klingon ship that was seen in this episode, we've already reviewed. And they've come up in all different formats as well. Likewise, pretty much all the Federation ships that you saw, like even glimpses of, we've already done on this series as well. So I will show you the shipyards now on screen, so you can have a general idea of what our tier list is now in terms of what we think are the best and the worst of what we've seen so far. And on the second segment that we normally do is we go with the guests amongst the stars, where we list through all the special guest stars that were in this episode, and I quiz my colleague here, Mr. Jerry Soul, to see if he recognizes anyone who has been a repeat offender on the Star Trek cast list. So we only have a couple to do this time around, despite it being a very busy episode. I'm not going through all the Klingons because there's a lot of them, especially doubles and stuff like that. So we're just going with anyone that was in dialogue. Essentially, is what we're dealing with here today. We've already done J.G. Hertzler on the show, so we're going to skip him altogether. I'm going to start off with William Dennis Hunt, who was the character Huraga in this episode. He would have been the old drunken Klingon that Worf was singing ballads with. So yeah, William Dennis Hunt. He is unfortunately been passed now quite a while. Actually, he's passed away since 2020 at the age of 76. A very prolific actor. It has to be said. Like again, one of those ones where I think you will know him mostly from a couple of kind of spoof movies almost, but certainly like he kind of pops up in just kind of regular like episodes, like shows in guest roles. So you would have known him in The West Wing, for example, as the Duke of York, just as an example. He would have been a voice actor for a good bit, so like you would have known him from like some of the animated hero classics. He was in, I think there was a kind of weird Flash Gordon parody. So he was in that basically. I think he was one of the starring voices in that. Kind of a bit of a mix of all different things. But he would have been in different movies. Like you would have seen him in Critters 3. You would have seen him in Dragonfly, for instance. So he would have been a few guest roles there as well. And TV wise, you've probably seen him pop up in Wings and LA Law and stuff like that. So he's in that kind of catchment of like various other Star Trek alumni that end up being on the same kind of casting sheet. So yeah, with the voice and stuff like that, you think like he would have had a more prominent role in terms of like like outside of Star Trek, but no, he's just very much like a one and done kind of voice actor, So just goes to show you. Next, we're moving on then to our repeat business. So we're going to start off with Obi Nefebo, or Netefebo, if that is more accurate. So he played the character Drex in this episode. So Drex was Martok's son that we were talking to here. So he has actually been in Star Trek before. So Jerry, I'll quiz you. How many times has Obi Nefebo been in Star Trek?
I genuinely haven't a clue with this one. So I'm just going to hazard a guess and say, including this appearance, 3.
2 is the correct answer in this one. So yeah, so he was obviously Drex in this episode, but he was also in Voyager as the character Kellermain. So Kellermain, he was in the episode of called Blink of an Eye in Voyager. So he was it was one where Voyager had to break orbit, but because
Yeah.
of shift of gravity.
Was was he the pilot?
He was the
he one of
son, yeah. He was
Yeah.
the what's it called? A protector, I think they're called.
Mm.
So yeah, I believe he was the one who was piloting the balloon.
Mm.
So yes, he was on that one there. So elsewhere in Obi is actually more well known actually in Stargate, funny enough. So he is actually the character Ragnar in Stargate SG-1.
Oh shit! Is that's Ragnar? Oh wow.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. Again, it's
God,
only,
now that I look at him, oh Christ, yes, he is, isn't he? Yeah.
yeah. Um,
Christ. Okay.
he's also Bodie Wells in Dawson's Creek.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. So funny enough, actually, like his two roles in Star Trek is actually one of his like I think actually Drex is his first actual role in TV. Would you believe?
You could tell he was a little bit green.
Yeah,
When you go into it because he played the role great, I thought, but you can definitely tell he's a little bit green. But
yeah.
that's not a bad thing. Everyone has to make it somewhere.
We all start.
So imagine your first role being in Star Trek. Holy shit! Okay.
Yeah, not a bad start.
Mm.
Unfortunately, Obi Devo has already passed away. Unfortunately, at the age of 51, he died last year. I'm afraid.
Oh, Jesus.
But so his family, so obviously the name gives away. He's Nigerian parents, born in America, and was a Yale graduate, in fact. But yeah, unfortunately, he was a very interesting fella outside of TV. So he is a yoga teacher. Well, was indeed was a yoga teacher by trade.
Wow.
He founded a non-profit called Art Alliance for Humanity, based out of Santa Monica. But remarkably enough, in 2019, Ndefo was hit by a drunk hit and run driver in Los Angeles and had both of his legs amputated. So actually, his last role was in NCIS Los Angeles, where he is a paraplegic. Or indeed, so like that was his last role in 2021, but he passed away 3 years later, which is incredible. So there you go. That's Obi DeFabo, the late Obi DeFabo indeed, who played Jackson Calamane, and obviously popped up in Stargate. Moving on then. Next up then is Christopher Draga, who played the Klingon Kaibok, who we saw in the first half of the episode. He was the one that was bullying the various bullying Cassie Yates' ship at this point. He is a repeat offender in Star Trek. So I'll ask you again, Jerry, how many times would you have seen Christopher Draga?
Again, I don't know, so I'm going to go again. I'm going to go 3 again.
And you're right with 3.
Yeah.
Now, can you guess where you've seen these fellas before?
I'm going to say one of them is Voyager.
Correct.
And Enterprise?
And correct, yes. Now, I won't bully any further in that one. He's on the prosthetics for all 3 of them. So obviously we know about K-Bok. We just watched him there. Again, he's one of those kind of faces where you think you've seen him before, but actually he's one of those ones where like actually no, he looks a bit more like someone else on the prosthetics, if you know what I mean. So in terms of his Voyager appearance, he's a character Yasek from the episode Think Tank. So he is the kind of the bounty hunter, you know, the kind of has a kind of like white skin. Yeah. So he's the Hazari bounty hunter in that episode. And then in Enterprise, refreshingly enough, he plays a Klingon called Vorok in the episode Unexpected.
Okay. Now I have to go back and have a look at these episodes now. I was like, okay, it's interesting.
Yeah. Unexpected. I think that is the episode where oh yes, that's right. That's the one where Trip gets pregnant.
Oh, he's the captain, isn't he?
He's a captain, yeah.
Oh, I recognise the voice now.
The Klingon captain, yeah.
Ah, right, okay.
Yeah,
so that's great.
Yep, absolutely.
Like that.
So yeah, in terms of his other roles, Christopher Darga, I call him Draga there by accident. Christopher Darga, yeah, he does a couple of I've seen him. You might see him in a few other kind of like one and dones. Like you would have seen him in Criminal Minds, Modern Family for a few episodes. In terms of prolific roles, he was Mr. Farrer in The Middle, the TV series, the successor to Malcolm in the Middle. And he's had a few kind of like, I suppose like the most, what you would know him most as, ironically enough. Do you remember the show Most Extreme Elimination Challenge? It was basically an American piss take of Takeshi's Castle.
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know.
No. Basically, it was basically, you know, when we had Takeshi's Castle, we had Craig Charles doing the voiceover.
Mm.
So they did the same thing in America where they just dubbed over all the old episodes of that show. But he was one of the voices. He was Kenny Blankenship on that episode on that show. So that was actually probably his most frequent role, I guess. Like it was what people will know him as. He was in a few movies as well, like Bruce Almighty and Do Where's My Car. But I suppose like his actual core business was probably as in that being a shitter Craig Charles, essentially, for all intents and purposes. So then we move on then to our final two. This one we don't have not a repeat offender in this regard, but certainly a very prominent character who we're featuring for the first time here, Penny Johnson Gerald, who of course plays Cassidy Yates in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and technically she's actually been in Star Trek already. She has been in Star Trek twice. And this one caught me off guard because I remember doing a rewatch, and she popped up then. So where do you think that Penny Johnson Gerald's shown up before in Star Trek?
I haven't a clue.
Yeah, this is fascinating, right? So she was in the episode. So she was the character Dobara in The Next Generation. So do you remember the episode Homeward?
Homeward.
So this is where basically, so Worf has his foster brother. What's his name?
Oh my God! It's the wife.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus Christ! Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
Nikolai Roshenko. That's who I was thinking of. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was Nikolai's wife. Yeah. So she's the character Dobara from that episode where she's Baralian or Baralan, I think it is. Yeah, she just pops up there. I was like, I was not expecting to see you here, like, you know.
No.
Because you just
Well, obviously,
yeah.
when you look at the time frame, that was very much, I think it was season 7.
Yes.
So they obviously brought her on board for that, liked her doing the character and thought, actually, we've a role in Deep Space Nine. Would you be interested in it? She goes for it and she gets the recurring cast. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that, yeah.
Yep, absolutely. So yeah, in terms of everything else, like Penny Johnson is a prolific actor. Like she has been in so many things. It's actually kind of hard to keep track. In very recent times, she's obviously been in The Orville as Dr. Finn. And is very much an episode, a run that she's really, really enjoying. Obviously, she's well known for being Cassidy Yates in Deep Space Nine, but I think a lot of people will probably know her as Sherry Palmer from 24, because she had a couple of years in that series, and kind of like really kind of grew from like being the president's wife to being a really duplicitous little kind of like sly character, and she played it really, really well. One of her more prolific roles would have been as Captain Gates from Castle, which I suppose like would be one of her more like consistent roles, if you like, being the kind of the chief of police there. But yeah, she always pops up in a couple of different shows. She was in ER as Nurse Evans, and she was on the Larry Sanders Show for a long time as well. So like pretty much a career dating back to like the early 80s, really. I think like, again, Next Generation would have been a relatively early role for her, but yeah, done quite a lot of work in that regard. Yeah, really, really busy one. Cassie Yates is such a fun character in that respect. Like it is like very much a character like I think starts off as like, okay, we need to kind of give Cisco a love interest, but then you throw in the stuff with the McKee and everything, how everything gets so complicated and stuff like that. I think it's something like, well, like when you do kind of hire someone as good as Penny Johnson in that role, it just gives you a lot of opportunity to expand on the character you had intended. And this is certainly one of those cases here. So yeah, just a really good character, really good actor. You can't really say fairer than that.
Definitely.
And then we move on to the main event. Mr. Robert O'Reilly. Good old crazy eyes himself. Now, I do have to quiz you on this one, Jerry. How many times has Robert O'Reilly been in Star Trek?
I know of at least 2 in Deep Space Nine. And I know there is an alien. You can't tell by the looking at him, but because the makeup is fun, it completely covers his face, but you can tell by his voice it's him.
Yeah.
There's a Voyager one as well. And then I think wasn't he in oh God, he was in Lower Decks, I think, for an episode. I'm going to say 4.
And four is the correct answer. So Gowron obviously like bounces between Next Generation and the Space Nine. However, you did get four, but you got the shows completely wrong. Would you believe?
Did I? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So he's actually been in the Next Generation once before, and he's in DS9 once extra, and then he's in Enterprise as well. Would you believe?
Oh, it is so no, it's the character I'm thinking of is
So you think that the
I
character?
thought it was
Kate-
Voyager. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's an alien, but you couldn't tell by the look of him.
Yes.
It's just by the voice that you know it's him.
Yeah.
So who's the other next gen?
Well, so this is interesting. So yeah, we mentioned Kago. So yeah, so Kago is like the bounty hunter that you see there, and like as I said, the prosthetics don't give it away because it hides his eyes. Ironically enough, so yeah, so let's go back to Next Generation. So he is the character Scarface in the episode Manhunt. So do you remember this Manhunt is the one where Lasana's hunt has the hots for Picard. She's going through the kind of the menopause, and Picard then escapes into the holodeck and plays through the Dixon Hill mystery, and then Loxana jumps in. So basically, the one of the characters that comes in to to hassle Picard is Robert Rooney in civvies. Essentially, he's just in a suit and a hat.
Sorry, what name did you say?
Is the character is just called Scarface?
No, I'm talking. Did you say Robert Rooney?
Yeah, Robert Rooney. Yeah.
Robert O'Reilly.
Oh, Robert O'Reilly. Jesus, I was saying Robert Rooney this whole time. Jesus, no, Robert O'Reilly.
I'm only after copping that. I'm like, no, it's Robert O'Reilly.
Yeah. Sorry, it's because he was so small. No, he's a character Scarface. In that, so like he just kind of shows up, basically, and just starts like shooting up the office, basically. So yes, and hilarious enough, then he is actually in Deep Space Nine. So you remember the episode Bada Bing Bada Bang in the 7th season?
Yeah, he was the guy counting money.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, just pops up there for the cracks. So yeah, so that's his 4 roles in Star Trek. It's kind of ironic in a sense where like you're just when you're so used to seeing someone in prosthetics, and again it's the trick of the eyes in a sense. When you see him outside of it, it's quite jarring. But as you said, the voice really does kind of give it away as well, isn't it? I think there are a couple of like actors that like they can't hide the voice in that respect. Nor do you want to, like in a way, treat finding them.
No, you wouldn't want him to hide his voice. Like it's Robert O'Reilly. Like it's the eyes and the voice for me.
Yes, very much so, very much so. In terms of other work, obviously Robert Rooney's still alive at the age of 75.
You said Rooney again.
I see, keep doing that. Okay, Mr. Gowron is still alive at the age of 75. And he's shown up in a lot of different shows, a lot of like crime shows actually. Like he's kind of cut his teeth in the likes of like Hill Street Blues, and like again his work goes back to like 1979. So he's actually Gustav in Fantasy Island, funny enough, in the TV series of that. He was in Chips. He was in TJ Hooker twice, Knight Rider twice, MacGyver, The Equalizer. He was in that really underrated show Sledgehammer. As 2 different characters as well, and just kind of just pops up every now and then. He was in Dallas as well once upon a time, then I guess you could say, you'd probably say like Gowron is probably his most well-known role. I think it'd be kind of reasonable to say. I think obviously he's done some work in between, but a lot of it has been Star Trek oriented. Like he's kind of like really embraced the Star Trek world, and really he's really become just Gowron in and out of the kind of the sphere, really, hasn't he? Yeah. Which is kind of great to see. So there you go. So and funny enough, actually, he did actually say that Bada Bing Bada Bang was his favorite episode of that he was involved in, which is hilarious. Like I suppose
he wears zero makeup. He just goes in and wears a suit and the green hat, that the visor that he wears, and I'm like, that's it. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. Okay. And fun fact as well, you probably know this from playing Star Trek Online, but he also appears in that as Akar as well, one of the ancestors of Gowron. So again, very clearly looks like him as well. So they're just really really leaning onto that aspect of it. So there you go. There's all of our guest roles for this episode. So with that in mind, then let's jump right into the review. So
Yeah, 100.
yes, you mentioned that. So so yes, the way we work it is obviously going to show up on screen here. We review the every episode through our little compartments up above here, and we always start with the opening gambit, which is the plot. There's a lot of it.
Yeah.
It's a very very busy episode. Normally you'd have like we're used to story beats like Star Trek giving us an A, B, and C story. But obviously this flow is very, very different. It is doing a lot in one episode. Even for a two-part, there's a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of twists. I would say twists and turns. There's just a lot of turns. Like there's a real kind of turnover from season 3 to 4, almost to try and just get you in the zone, get you in the mood of what's to come.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of work being done in that respect. I think it pulls it off for the most part. I think really to start off from like say, okay, we're getting ready for the changeling kind of like infestation essentially, and trying to get like the station ready for it and stuff like that, and then suddenly just to be essentially be blindsided by a Klingon invasion force of Cardassia. Essentially D9, we said it like during the review as well, it really is the kind of center of the world when it comes to these kind of like like interplanetary conflicts. It just is the focal point, and whether it's a good or bad thing based on the show, that's kind of your point of view. But yeah, Jesus, it is a lot going on, and a lot of it's just brilliant. Like as the gambits go from starting off from one thing to the other, normally you lose the audience halfway through from not being so focused, but because it got you there through nice gradual steps with like, you know, now here's Worf, or now here's the Klingons at DS9. That's a bit of a curveball. Now here's Worf. Now you find out about this. Now there's a battle, and now there's this, and it just sets up everything so well. So yeah, Jesus, between that, I'd say it's between 9 or 10 for me. Anyway, Jerry, what say you about this one?
Well, come here. See, this is the thing. It's like you say there's a lot going on, and there absolutely is. And you say, all right, they're preparing for the Dominion. They've upgraded the station. They've all these weapons. All of a sudden, you're blindsided that the Klingons are now attacking. But you then have to look at the consequences of the episode and where those leads. Obviously, we're going to get to that later.
Yeah.
But you have to take that into account into the plot, as it wasn't just simply, we're going to turn the Klingons against the Federation. It's not that. It's this again is just another one of those Dominion plots against the Federation.
Paranoia when it starts off, and then you find out more about it then as the season goes on. Yeah.
In a year, you realize, oh shit, it wasn't paranoia. There was somebody pulling the strings.
Yeah.
So when you look at, you have to use hindsight when judging the plot. When you judge the plot on those things, so you've got Worf second guessing himself whether he should still be in Starfleet after the destruction of the Enterprise. You have kind of everything to do with the Klingons and what's going on with them and why they're there and whatnot. Even the individual Klingons that we see are all different. Everybody is different in this episode. Everything is different in this episode. You have Gowron, who basically feels betrayed by Worf because he doesn't come and fight with him, and then you have the crew trying to come to the terms that all they're trying to do is defend the Alpha Quadrant from the Dominion, and they're being attacked left, right, and center. If it's not the Cardassians, it's not the Dominion, it's not the Romulans, now it's the Klingons. Who else is going to have a go? Should the last episode before this was the bloody Tsenketi?
Yeah.
You know, and again, another Dominion plot. So it's plot on top of plot. In a couple of episodes, you're going to see another plot involving Earth, and you know how much can they actually take. So I think the plot for this definitely a 10 for me. It sets up the season excellently, but not only that, it sets up the next 3 years of just fantastic Star Trek television. So it's a 10 for me.
Yeah, I think you summarized it very well there by saying that it really is it's not only a platform, it's a springboard. It literally it propels this show into something different.
Just a forewarning, I will be explaining every single category as well as this one. Just be forewarned, because I am prepared for this.
And that's totally fair. In fact, to be absolutely fair, like I said, like I think like that to do so much work in one episode. Like half the time, like I think you would have been forgiven for doing this over 3 or 4 episodes. Like there's no reason why you don't have to do this all in 2 episodes in that respect. But we're very, very grateful that you did.
Yeah.
Because as I said, it just gives you more opportunity to tell different stories. Again, I think part of it is inspired by the fact that, like, okay, now we got Worf on the show. How do we get him in and get him involved? And also, like, how do we get the point across that, like, the Dominion has essentially just completely like knocked everyone, like, it has got people in a bit of a panic almost. Like this is the Klingon equivalent of panic. It's about like, okay, like we need to do a preemptive strike. It's so probably that we just did the Wounded as a previous episode, because the whole point about that was a preemptive strike against the Cardassians, and now you've got the Klingons basically just doing that at a whim. But as you said, like it's just so at odds with what we've seen of the Klingon Empire at this moment from our interactions in the Next Generation. And yeah, they're about the same in Deep Space Nine, if not like more. Like it's more Worf centric now when he's now involved in the show. But as I said, like it's just so unusual for this to be taken taken center stage. So yeah, as I said, like the fact that like something like that wasn't kind of like out of place, when it was kind of unfurling the plot, kind of shows you how well it was done. So yeah, I agree with the 10 on that one. I don't think you can really get you don't get a better season opener than this anywhere. This is how you open a season, and it almost threatens to overload the entire season and give you an unfair expectation. But I've only recently rewatched season 4 Deep Space Nine. It doesn't disappoint really. It's a pretty strong season nonetheless.
Yeah.
Next up then is setting. So what were your major takeaways from the setting of this episode in terms of like the way everything looked really comparatively to what we've seen normally on the show?
When you see Deep Space Nine and even the Defiant, so I'm gonna point out a couple of things here, and one or two things were actually quite subtle. So we're talking about the setting, so the sets and stages and stuff like that. I'm correct. Am I saying that?
Like how they pull it. Like, yeah, that sort of stuff.
So you've got something so let's take Ops for example. So the fight with the Klingon Shurin Ops looked amazing.
Yeah.
They took full use of every nook and cranny of that entire area. Klingons flying all over the place, people dying, Chief O'Brien going down for the 376th time in only 4 seasons. It was absolutely fantastic. Then they used like it's all about the lighting. When you see the Defiant, and the Defiant is normal, and then all of a sudden it cloaks. I know we've seen it before, but something about this episode was changed because you've got somebody who literally questions it, like, what the fuck is this? What's going on here? More obvious, and it does make it's a nice little thing. You then have the Klingon bridge that Worf goes onto, and it is different from other Klingon bridges that we've seen. I know that when they filmed this, the set that was used for Generations was part of this.
Yeah.
So the Generations bridge from the Lursan Bator's Klingon Bird of Prey was different to let's say Khan's one from Undiscovered Country.
Yeah.
Khan's one was longer and narrower. This was wider. But then you also see with this one as well is that there's steps down. So it's like when you walk through that door, it kind of sets it up as like, this is definitely a different bridge. It's definitely newer. It still has that very dark brown Klingon-esque, yes, exactly, that we would have seen from Next Generation bridges. Latter Next Generation bridges and stuff like that, especially when we got to reunification, when they were on the Klingon ship for reunification, and there was a couple of other times I know with Klingon ships. Anyway, it's not the same as when from Redemption. Anyway, the Klingon bridge and Redemption is completely different. So when you see this one, it is very much the aesthetic of the brown, dark, red light Klingon ship, but it makes it, even though you only see a little bit of it, it makes it look like this is like the command deck of a bigger ship, almost like the Negvar. This is a big deal. This is a bigger bridge, and that was done very well. There's one thing though I want to talk about as well, is the use of the backgrounds for Gul Dukat scenes. There's we've not really seen the interior properly of a Cardassian ship before.
No.
We've seen the bridge of, we've seen the space stations, but we've not really seen the interior. So to see the subtle little things in the backgrounds, you've got guys walking around, you've got the stations, you've got the chairs. It all very much looks different, even slightly different to what Deep Space Nine actually is.
Yeah.
And I loved that. It wasn't just an image of Ducat's head. They actually showed you a set, and
Yeah.
it wasn't a green screen either. It was an actual set. It's kind of like how they showed us when we had the episode, the last episode of season 2, which was Jem'Hadar.
Yeah.
When you have the Galaxy class ship that's there, it's a different bridge than the Enterprise. But they show you it. It is smaller, but they show you it. And I love stuff like that. It's just subtle little things.
Yeah.
That brings everything up. So they used the Defiant so unbelievably well, especially when it cloaked. They used the bits with Ducat was great. The stuff with Bird of Prey that we actually saw, and then even when Martok and Gowron were standing on the bridge together, you see that smoky aspect in the background. You've got the browns and the reds for the Klingon bridge, and it is that bigger bridge as well, and it just looks good. So you can't fault this again. Like I will concede to, I'll go a 9 to a 10 depending on where you're going with it, but I'll go a 9 to a 10.
Yeah, I think I'd say the way I looked at it was I'm trying to think when was the last time we gave a 10 for setting, and the only 10, there's 2 10s we gave, which was the a Quality of Mercy and a Balance of Terror. I'm trying to think to myself, why do we give them a 10? What stood it apart from everything else? Now I will say my score for here is a 9, in case you're wondering, and the reason I say 9 is that basically what they have done actually is that the one kind of standout thing is that, like, obviously you have the Klingon, the Klingon bridge is itself feels like a wider bridge. It's like it's probably the biggest bridge you've probably seen on a Klingon ship. Actually, it's quite indulgent. It's quite indulgent for a Klingon bridge.
Yeah, when you see the Rotaran in seasons to come, the bridge is tiny.
Yeah,
like tiny, like, because it's a Bird of Prey. They're a small ship, whereas this is very much a command deck. This is not a bridge. This is a command deck of a much bigger ship.
Absolutely, yeah. What I would say about just generally with everything else is that I think that the real kind of key word here for this, and why I think it earns a 9, is that it's maximizing what they had. It's using every angle, every shot, and showing, like, again, you don't really appreciate how big the promenade set is for DS9. It's massive. It does have 2 or 3 layers, and in some episodes you're kind of forgiven in, like, not really appreciating the depth of it. But in this episode, you really do see how deep it is. It's that one, for me, it's a shot of Odo, like, chiming, like calling in and saying that the battles are still going on. The fighting is happening around them, and it's happening in 3D space. Like, they're shooting on a Z-axis up to, like, people on the promenade. And, like, that's so seamless, so elegantly done. So that was the one that kind of gave it away for me. It's also kind of small things as well, where, like, the corridors are so kind of smoky and kind of claustrophobic. There's they have that one scene, I think it's when, like, you know, Quark is delighted that the Klingons are gone and Worf fucks off, but that's all done with, like, a yellow tinge. You know, it's small different things like that, where, like, it's still, there's a mood in every scene. The lighting is done really, really well, without there being an actual genuine motif to it. It doesn't have to have a motif in it, in fairness. It doesn't have to, like, have a real kind of signature to it. It just has been done exceptionally well, and that's what this was for me. The reason I don't give it a 10 is because the way Balance of Terror was looking for something, for an aesthetic in particular, which was the submarine, like, shot. It was that. And then the reason why I gave it then to Quality of Mercy is because it did that perfectly. It recreated it without, like, hammering you with it, because Odo does exactly the same thing and then adds more, and just gets that kind of same kind of, like, this is what we were able to pull off in the 60s with a filter on the camera. Now look what we can do in 2022 with maximum cameras, maximum production. We can do the exact same thing and not you having, and do the exact same scenes as what we've done with Balance of Terror, and just have and pull it off in the exact same way. Both different tech styles, but doing it perfectly, exactly very well. So yeah, that's why I went for a 9 for that. So will we go for 9 on settings?
I'll go a 9 for that. Yeah.
Okay, let's go with 9 then. Right, and then we come to the writing. Literally the only negative I have was Kira with the 20 ships. That was literally the only little, like, fucking little blemish on the writing, and that is
This
like,
this is the thing. You're not going to demote somebody a point because
no,
he's
I'm not.
20
No,
ships.
I don't know. Like, I don't know if you can see my score sheet here, but like, there is like more pluses than that negative in the writing department. Like, I think like genuinely every scene here was done to such fantastic detail, and like I remember watching this back recently, and I was thinking to myself, like, how would I score this now as I'm watching it? And it's like, I feel like the first half is a little bit plain, whatever. And now I'm watching it with like with my critical hat on, thinking like, actually no, there is a substantial amount of groundwork done in the first half, and the second half, it has to be a little bit lighter because this is where the action is, kind of way. Like the writing has to take a backseat for when shit kicks off, but the writing really pulls off when you have built up everything and set up everything the way it is. And what the great achievement of the episode is that it doesn't actually lean on anything too long. Like it tends to bounce around the crew quite well. Like everyone bar Jake Sisko gets a little bit of attention in this episode. Jake is nowhere to be fucking seen in this episode, which is a surprise. Well, no, it's not a surprise. It is and it isn't.
Which is a good thing at times.
It can be good things at times. Yeah, exactly. Like Jake, especially in the first few seasons, had a touch of the Wesleys about him, but that I think that kind of comes with time. But with in terms of like being able to pass the round, and I think we had this with a similar episode once upon a time, possibly. I just can't remember which one, but it had to reflect the current situation through different characters. So I think the real triumph for me is the scene between Garrick and Quark.
Yes.
And they're talking about, and they're drinking prune juice essentially for the first time and going, I mean, it's unpalatable, but I could live with it, kind of thing. Talking about the Federation thing, and it's all in metaphor. It's all broad. They're not saying anything in particular, because again, you have two very duplicitous people talking about something very duplicitous. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be anything more strenuous than that. But it's the same thing where like we've had a few episodes that kind of like that have lost marks by not showing like the auxiliary characters reacting to this. So it's a case where like, okay, let's see what's happening now on the ship while the Defiant is out, and it's O'Brien getting stuff ready with Kira and having a bit of trench humor. Like that stuff is kind of important. It does put a body on the episode. Like you do kind of sometimes forget that like this is an ensemble cast. It's not just the Benjamin Sisko show. There are more people involved here. I think everyone just got genuinely really even keel of attention. Bashir not so much, but that's all right. We'll come to him later on.
But the writing of his lines were like, he was like uber bitch in this episode.
He was an uber bitch.
Bitch.
But he still delivered perhaps the two punches lines in this. Like in a way, like his writing was kind of poignant in a sense. Like he is like. Yeah. As essentially the field medic, he is expecting to be absolutely hammered. Like that's that one scene where he's briefing his medics, like essentially, like almost like this is the Titanic going down. This is what you do. It was that sort of kind of feel to it. But yeah, no, I'm giving this a 10 straight away. Like it really is just a phenomenally written episode from start to finish. There's so much ground to cover, even in 93 minutes. As I said, New Trek would have stretched this out to a full fucking season. You know what I mean? Like they are masters at taking one prompt and making 10 episodes out of it, and then nothing else in between. That's what the current thing is now.
I can't argue here for a 10, and you've explained it exactly how I couldn't. But no, there's no argument. The writing was just fantastic. Really, really was.
Like I said, like if you break down this episode into its components, you start off with like changeling training, to Klingons on station, to I guess like the mystery as to why they're here, then Worf arriving, Worf getting what he needs and figuring out the attack of the planned attack on Cardassia, that then kicking off. Then you got like the Defiant intervening and basically causing a really big skirmish between the Federation and Klingons. Essentially, the like I said, the Khitomer cords are out the fucking door. Like there's almost like this will come up. What's great about this episode is that the sense of panic about this, a sense of kind of concern about this whole situation, doesn't come up in the acting and the actual the like physical side of it. It comes up elsewhere in the production, which I'll draw attention to later on. I think, in fairness, I think Jerry, you probably picked up on it as well. But so much ground to cover, and it covers it perfectly. Like if you want to do a packed 2-parter, this is how you do it. Study this episode and watch how to get your shit in 93 minutes or less. Yeah. So there you go. Then we go to acting. How did you have this acting one? as the actor in the group, I will defer to you on this one. But what caught your eye in this episode in particular?
Many different things.
Okay.
Many different things. So I think the way Robert O'Reilly plays Gowron is always fantastic, and especially the scene with Worf on the bridge of the Klingon ship. He's he in a very Klingon way. He's almost pleading with Worf to come with him, because he's like, if you don't come with me, I'm going to have to strip you of everything. And he doesn't want to do that. He doesn't. Worf is his friend. Worf is that one that helped him become Chancellor Gowron. He is the one who has helped him and has always been there for him. Even at a time where they were at odds over the Kahless clone, they were still friends, and he was still there for him. So he didn't want to do this, but he just felt that his back was against the wall. He had to do this because the Federation have forced him to do this.
Yeah.
And that was fantastic. Then you've got the scene with the scene with Martok and Worf. And just when they go face to face, it's just how there wasn't any shouting. It was just, you risk destroying us all. And it's that line from Martok, J.G. Hertzog, was just incredible. But the one thing I actually focused on a lot in this episode, and I actually haven't done that in previous episodes, is just how good an actor Avery Brooks really is. Because this episode, he went above and beyond. His pacing was fantastic. His volume of his voice, and if he wanted it gravelly, if he wanted it softer, when he's talking to Gowron about my reinforcements are closer than yours, this is exactly what the Founders want. And even the last line was, maybe they are. And he just turns his head, but so are we. I'm like, Jesus. Just, you look at that and go, well, there's no point in me being an actor. I can't top fucking that. And there's a lot of little, this is the thing about this episode. It's not just about one big scene, because I don't think there's just one big scene in this.
Yeah.
There's multiple small scenes of how good they are. So the acting in this, for me, from everybody, and it's not just those 3 or 4. Michael Dorn, fantastic in this episode. J.G. Hertzog, fantastic in this episode. Robert O'Reilly, Avery Brooks. And then when you even look at the other cast members, the small little bits that we got from Colomini, from Quark, from Garrick, when you blend it all together, you'd be like, well, 10 isn't a high enough number for the acting in this episode, because they had come back from a hiatus. They'd taken a hiatus from after season 3. They come back and they're like, right, lads, we're doubling the budget for this episode. This is you have a huge amount of money for this. I want you to go crazy. I want you to absolutely just go for it. Like, even when you're looking at Bashir is not normally as bitchy as he is in this one, and he just took the biscuit with this episode. Like the way he spoke to Dukat, Dr. Bashir, like little old innocent Dr. Bashir talking to Gul Dukat the way he does. Holy shit. Just everything. Like every scene that Avery Brooks was in, he just, like he on his own is an absolute masterclass. And I love the behind the scenes stuff when you see him actually, like, he obviously did a lot of directing and part of the writing on these episodes, but he also did a lot of coaching. And he would say to an actor, that's not how you should do that. You should do it like this, because this makes more sense. And I have never heard or seen a complaint about him doing that. Because anybody knew, if Avery Brooks is giving you direction, fucking listen.
Yeah.
Listen. Simple as that. So for me, the acting, if I could go higher than a 10, I would. I can't, so I have to go a 10.
Okay, fair enough then. My take on it was that, like, I think everyone was absolutely brilliant in this episode. I couldn't stand it. I wouldn't be able to say I don't think there's an absolute standout performance in either one. I think everyone was equally good, equally great. Like I had this like tentatively scored as a 9 on my list
Yeah.
because even though like everyone was absolutely fantastic, I like there wasn't an absolute acting masterclass. Like I'm thinking like in the Pale Moonlight was that beautiful monologue at the end, and you, as you mentioned, like Avery Brooke commanding a scene in a way,
Yeah.
almost like everyone was almost just like was so good across the board. Everyone just hit their mark so well that in a way, like no one almost like kind of stood out from the crowd for me, which is not a bad like criticism to have at all. Like I think like I'm kind of arguing myself into a 10 here, really. Because the more I think about it is like, yeah, I think like listen, but just naturally one or two people are gonna like have like a market and like a mark missing here or two. Like I'm not judging like marking down like the ancillary Klingons who are starting to rail. Like that's small fry comparatively. Like they're what like 14th, 15th in the billing here. That it'd be unfair to mark an episode based off them in that respect. But what I will say is I think everyone was just like just solid and brilliant all across the episodes. Um without saying like without someone like kind of grabbing the spotlight and like delivering that fucking Shakespearean line read. Um like I said, I think Cisco was the closest in that respect because like Cisco almost was the wrangler of the scene. Like he grabs the attention of each one, whereas like I think some people kind of got their jabs here and there, or like okay, now it's Worf's turn to do this, now it's this and that the other. But Cisco reins everything back in, for me. And I think that was a kind of great skill in this episode was be able to refocus the energy back into the next scene or as you said into the last line read of the episode to get you primed and get you almost adrenalized for the season ahead. So yeah, I'm flickering between 9 and 10 for me on that one. So would we say 9.5 on that one then?
Go on.
9.5. Okay. So next up then is action. Holy fucking shit.
Now,
American.
if there was ever, honestly, God, when I say this, and I'm not joking when I say this, if there was ever a time that we were going to go, that deserves an 11.
Yeah,
it would be
11,
this. Now
yeah.
we're not. Listen, we're not going to go. We're not going to go. We're not going to go there with that.
No.
This is. There is no argument. A 10.
Yeah, agreed.
Because when you look at this episode, and this is the thing about Deep Space Nine. Deep Space Nine simply had the best action scenes, especially in terms of space combat.
Yes, for sure.
Bar none. Apart from maybe looking at the newer treks. So the likes of Picard, the likes of Stranger Worlds, and even Discovery. That first season of Discovery was fucking off the charts for action.
Yes.
Like Christ almighty, to fight the binary stars. Holy shit. That was action packed. But when you look at Deep Space Nine, the very first scene in the very first episode of Deep Space Nine is the fleet at Wolf 359 attacking the Borg cube.
Yeah.
Holy. So when you get this, so you take up you hear everything during this episode. So you've got the bits of we started the upgrades, blah blah blah. You need to make we'll probably need them. Oh geez, okay, right. I'll make sure they're ready. I'll get testing on them, blah blah blah. Then I was like, right, well, I wish we could have tested them. Well, no time like the present. And then you see that fleet amassed at Deep Space Nine, and everything starts opening up. Then, so you've got where the runabouts normally are. You've got platforms lifting up. You've got the docking ring, like upper pylons and lower pylons start to open up, and this stuff comes out here, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Exactly. Is this? Where did this come from? Like the only other time is like there's those three kind of triangular things around where Opsonol is, and that's the only time you ever saw any type of weapon come from Deep Space Nine. It's the first episode of Deep Space Nine where they fired the only 5 torpedoes that they had. Now they've 5,000, and they have this brand spanking new weapons array that's all over the shit, all over the station. And you just saw that fantastic battle with the 20 ships.
Yeah.
With the 20 ships. And just shreds the Klingon fleet, like shreds the Klingon fleet. Like I'm looking at those torpedoes going, I was like, that's great. But then as soon as the phases start firing, they're blowing ships up left, right, and center. I was like,
yeah,
right, this is fantastic. Then you've got the fight at the Kardashian ship and they're rescuing them. Then you've got the multiple fights, physical fights. You've got the ops fight, you've got the promenade fight. Even like, I actually really loved the scene with Garrick and Ducat.
That was
Because
one of my favorites.
Garrick's just standing there like, right, next part, you're dead, you're dead, you're dead. And then, hold on, you have Gul Dukat with a fucking battle taking on 2 Klingons at once? Holy shit. Like, honestly, if you could give a category higher than 10, this would be it. And I don't think any other episode you could say that about. Because there is none.
No,
there is none.
Not in our current like kind of list anyway. Like, as I said, I think yesterday's Enterprise was the closest, and even then,
yesterday's Enterprise was very, very close. There's only one. There's one for me, and that's Sacrifice of Angels.
Yeah, that's
because
fair.
The fleet battle in that. Oh Jesus, that's pure Star Trek, pure sci-fi, pure action. Fucking brilliant. But for me, it will always go down. This will always go down as one of the best Star Trek fleet battles, action engagement, whatever you want to call it, in the entire franchise, including movies, including New Trek, Old Trek, Kelvin timeline, all of that. This is pure Star Trek.
Like, in a way, like this battle between humans and Klingons is almost a battle you almost wanted to have in the movies but never did get, really, because all of it was like one ship skirmishes. It was always like the stuff with the Undiscovered Country and like Generations was when the two kind of hit loggerheads. That was about it. And even in that was ship on ship combat. It was not the same as basically what is a fortress being hit by a volley of Klingon warships. So as you said, like, I think you summarized it perfectly there. I can't add anything on top of that. It was just a fucking a thrill a minute fucking episode. As I said, like, you had, like, I'm even like, there's just so many episodes just kind of just kept the pace going the entire time. Like, if it wasn't searching for Odo exercises, it was fucking Worf doing calisthenics. Like, it was just small things like that just kept the theme of the episode going, because as you said, like, it wasn't the fact that, like, it was pure Star Trek in terms of in the sci-fi action, but it was also like Star Trek also loves pulling the handbrake and talking about our feelings about it, whereas the episode really wanted to tell you, we don't have time for this today. Like, we like talking is not working anymore. Talking is done. We knew, like, this is the time we have to defend and fight, and that's the whole kind of energy about the entire episode. Where, like, there's lulls in between, and there's a little bit of levity. There's a little bit of, like, kind of comedy in between, because that's just what these people need to fucking function at this point. But the vast majority of this episode is defined by the skirmishes and the conflicts and the battles in between. And a 10 is was only fair score on this one. Like, you couldn't possibly mark this any higher or lower in that respect. Next up then is the effects. So I would say, like, I think this kind of ties in a lot more to the action for me more than anything else, because, like, again, a lot of it is the space battles and stuff like that. So they really hit their marks on the damage on the Defiant. You know, no fucking ridiculous rocks. No rocks to be seen.
No,
always
lots of sparks. But the thing is, you expect sparks and smokes, because at the end of the day, it's fucking it's electrical. Everything is electrical, and it's going to spark and stuff like that. So in terms of effects, physical effects, you've got the damage done in the Defiant, absolutely fantastic. You've got all the fighting on the promenade. To me, would be one of those things, because it's multiple firefights happening at once. It's people being shot off the top of the promenade to the bottom of the promenade. You've got Dr. Bashir firing phasers, and then even that scene you were talking about, well, Odo is kind of giving a report to Cisco. He's kneeling down. Is like, we've contained them on the promenade. We're up a pylon 3 in the docking ring, and we have to contain for now, but they're not hanging, and the entire fucking fight's happening in the background behind him. And he's lucky Klingon isn't shooting.
The one that rings in my mind is the Bajoran guard being shot from the top of the promenade, him landing, and it cuts straight to Odo kicking the shit out of a Klingon.
That
fucking seamless.
Right, that's like, I love that guy that got shot from, we'll say, the bridge, that walkway. He is in. I don't think he's in every single Star Trek episode, but he's in, like, a lot of Deep Space Nine, a lot of Next Generation, a lot of Voyager. He's their number one stuntman. And he has played so many characters over the years. He's played Klingons, he's played Romulans, he's played Cardassians, he's played humans multiple times, multiple red shirts. and he is so prolific in the role. He's so good.
Yeah,
That you're like, as soon as you see him, like, he's dead.
exactly. Yeah, it's
Because
like
you know he's dead.
it's the Jeff Hardy syndrome. Once you see him, you know he's gonna fall off something tall. Like,
Oh, and he does. God, Lord, he does.
yeah,
He does a lot. It's fantastic. So for me, again, this tie, as you said, it ties in with action, and there is no faulting it whatsoever. You've like, if you look at absolutely everything, and again, I'm going to go to the subtlety of what we had with the Cardassian bridge. The
yeah,
Cardassian bridge is literally blowing up around Dukat, and he's still trying to get on with it. So you've got those effects of the sparks, you've got consoles going offline, you've got the smoke in a very narrow field of view, but it's still set up. Still a physical bridge. It's still set up, and it still looks great. You've got everything from even when you go back to Martok and Gowron on the bridge, kind of after the battle, it's a lot smokier because they've been hit as well. They've taken damage. The Negvar, as big and bad as it is, has taken damage. It's been hit by phasers and photon torpedoes. So they are damaged as well. And you've got that extra smoke in the background there. You can't fault it. It's just, action goes seamlessly with this. So for me, it's another 10.
Yeah, I think the one thing I kind of had was that I think like the kind of aftermath of the fighting, I think was like I'm thinking like with the actual like kind of the sheer amount of Klingon batlets that were flying around the place, I did feel like the Starfleet officers kind of got away with a bit. Like there was only like a couple of nicks and bumps. I think now I won't fault the production too much in this because like they can't.
A couple of nicks and bumps. Hold on a minute. Kira got fucking stabbed.
Kira got stabbed. Yeah, that's fine.
Kira got stabbed, right? So Kira got stabbed. O'Brien is standing there, right? Not a cut on him, not a nick on him, and then he gets hit with a batlet. So he's a big fucking jagged thing here.
Yeah.
Right. Blood coming out of it. Worf's not going to be touched. Sisko's not going to be touched. You know, they're not going to be touched, and Dax isn't going to be touched. But poor fleeting Kira. Right. So other Starfleet officers were lying dead.
Yeah.
Right. So the other crew are dead. Poor poor O'Brien has a gash in his brain after getting hit by a bleeding batlet.
Yeah.
There's a puncture wound in Kira.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you're talking about there.
This is what I was going to say. They weren't going to go Tonto because of the age rating as well. So you're not going to get fucking like kind of like visceral stuff from the crew here. But like at least once there's enough, like I would say, once you have some level of wounds of war to reflect on, I think that's fair enough. As I said, I think like I said, a few people got like were like, as I say, could control themselves quite well. I had this marked anyway as a 9 on my book anyway, because like I said, everything else was so fucking reflective of what they had. So I said 9 to a 10. So would it be another 9.5 if you're okay with that?
I'll go another 9.5, but I'm not fucking. I'm telling you, these next few.
Well, you have dominion over the, if you pardon the pun, you have dominion over the score. But I will just say, this is a phenomenally fucking tracked episode. This is this is what every now and then we're talking about this category score, and like if you play the music of this episode without context, you know which episode it is.
Yeah,
and
I do.
Yes,
I do. This is kind of a soundtrack because it's actually very difficult to get Deep Space Nine music.
Yeah,
this is a soundtrack that's readily available, and it's literally called Attack of the Klingons.
Yeah.
When you check it on YouTube, from the very beginning of the episode, the tension starts, and the reason the tension starts is because of the music.
Yes,
because you're like, you go in, the music starts, and then you see the two of them holding phasers. You're like, oh, what the fuck's happening here?
Yeah, and
then you realize, oh my god, they've been infiltrated by another changeling. Holy shit, what are we gonna do? Eventually, obviously, that pans out that it's just. They're just practicing. That's all it is. It's just a test. From that to the music of when the ships are decloaking, you're like, whoa, this is different. Even something as small as Cassidy Yates' ship and a tractor beam, but then it amps up. It really, really amps up when when they're about to go into combat for the first time against the Klingons to try to rescue the Tapa Council. And the music from that point is boom. You're like, yeah, we're fucking sucking diesel now. But as soon as we get back to the station, and Martok says the line, not Martok, Gowron says the line, It's a Good Day to Die, and you've got the music of the ships flying, and then it goes to black, and then and it amps up, and
Yeah.
it starts to get faster and faster. You're like, oh, here we go.
That's the point I was gonna make, is that like to get a real 10 on this kind of like on this round for me, you need to have a signature to the music. You need to have that one, like that defining quality to it. Like I think we gave a 10 for Best of Both Worlds. Has
100%, because they had it. That
Look,
Best of Both Worlds is a prime example.
yeah,
When you look at that episode, it's very eerie. It
Yes.
is very eerie at the beginning, and then when they're like, we have a ship on sensors, magnify, and then they see it, dun, 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 dun. You're like, yes, here we go. And that's a perfect example. It's same as this.
yeah. And
As soon as you go to the fight, it amps up, and you're like,
yeah, my kind of calibration for a 10 would be Amok Time for me, because it is like when you say the episode Amok Time, the first thing that's in your mind is so like literally the Way to Warrior is exactly the same thing, because in order to get across how chaotic and like frantic this whole thing is, the music goes into fucking hyperdrive. Like it is literally just like like whatever orchestra they had were going fucking chaotic. Like it was so fast, it was so loud, there was so many things happening at once, because that's what was happening on the space station. Like you got your point across so well with just the music alone. I said earlier on, like the acting isn't necessarily got the point across in terms of how frantic it is, because with the way like scenes are shot generally, like you will just have a chance to have a quip or a line or whatever else is. Like I'm thinking like when Bashir was able to shoot the guy that was attacking Odo, and he goes, oh, well, everyone gets one, fucking Spider-Man away, but the music tells you don't have time, hurry up, go. That's where you get that kind of point across. So yeah, this is an absolute fucking 10. There's no
100%.
No, it's absolutely brilliant.
It is one of those episodes that from start to finish, when you watch Next Generation and Voyager and Deep Space Nine, so a lot of episodes that have generic show music.
Yes,
it's the same music you've seen in many episodes for that. This is one of those rare occasions, like A Year of Hell, like Best of Both Worlds, where the music is completely new. It's completely specific for this episode. Now, saying that they did use this music, the fight, the attack of the ships in other episodes.
Yes,
but this was that time where it just explodes. It's so much better on this. So yeah, easy 10. Yeah. Easy 10 for this one.
And I can tell you now for the next category is an easy 10 for me as well, which is scenes. This
fucking
easiest 10 I've ever given to a category on this, especially for this section here. Like as I said, like my barometer is, can you take a scene out and put it back in? And like you're spoiled for choice with this episode. You really, really are. There's so many things you just piece in and out and stuff like that. Like some of them are in context, out of context. Like they're just, I genuinely have too many to mention. Like I think I mentioned the beautiful little segment there between Garrick and Quark already. That was absolutely fantastic. Any interaction that Worf had in this episode, Worf's stuff was just dripping with personality in this, because in a way, like in a way, with the character section is a bit harder for me to judge, because in a way the lads didn't have time for character progression. So that's a bit harder for me to judge. But when it comes to the scenes were very much a case like, here's what's happening here and now, and react and do and go. And the fact that like you had so many things happening at once, you didn't have a chance to breathe, and that was the whole point, was that things were moving too fast. We were working on very little information, blah blah blah, whatever. But the stuff like the Worf scenes in particular is the fact like this guy is hitting the ground running immediately. I know there's time skips in between, and like you could argue like this was happening within fucking hours, or was it happening within days or weeks or whatever. So like there's a bit of creative license there. But in terms of his interactions, going from like being formally introduced on with Cisco and trying to gauge him and gauge the assignment and stuff like that, to the drunken little like rabble with the old Klingon, then confronting Martok, then confronting Gowron, and then all these different things. Like his episodes in of themselves is an episode unto itself. Yeah, and it's squeezed in, it's compressed in with everything else. Yeah. So yeah, it's such a phenomenal category. And then you just have fucking. I haven't even mentioned Cisco in this. I haven't even mentioned fucking anyone else. Like, there's so much stuff happening.
That's just the thing. If you were to take Cisco aside on his own, he'd get
Yeah,
a 10.
absolutely. Yeah,
On his own, he'd get a 10.
yeah.
For me, though, you're dead right. If I had to be pushed to say, okay, which episode or which one did you like the most? I think I would actually choose the Quark and Garrick scene.
Okay.
I genuinely I do that. There is like you've got the Martok Wharf, you've got the Wharf Gowron, you've even got the two separate scenes that you have of Cisco and Worf. They're very similar,
Yeah,
but they're also very different.
I just thought there was one that just popped in my head. There was Cisco getting his measurements.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus, yeah.
I forgot about that. That's what I'm saying. I forgot about that one. It's the fact that like he's just giving a very detailed like fucking military briefing to a spy. It's just fucking fantastic.
Did I say this is the thing I think about that scene is like Garrick knew what they were doing.
Oh yeah.
It's not like did they just make a mistake here? It's like no, they wanted me to know.
Yeah. Oh, because
they can't contact them, so I have to be the one to do it. Okay. So it's like no, there's no way Garrick didn't know that was happening. That that it was deliberate. They were like, no, we need to warn your people without warning your people.
Yeah, it was like I think it was just him just getting really excited he's involved. It was like, oh, they're talking, they're involving me in the conversation, and they're not being weird about it. It's fantastic. That's how I read that. Like, it was actually quite something really endearing about that, for some reason. But yeah, holy fuck, like it's just an absolute fucking. As I said, like this is a movie in TV form. Like, and a movie is defined by its scenes. It's defined by how it paces itself, and like. You have to turn around the corner and then someone's delivering an absolute masterclass in either acting or delivery or something along those lines, or again just these wonderful little character moments. So then that leads me then onto the character kind of section. So I don't think I wouldn't. I think obviously the majority of the work was done with Worf here. Like Worf is the one they need to kind of bring up to speed a little bit, and I think they did his stuff really, really well. Because again, it also helps that Worf is such a well-defined character as it is. You know where he stands from based off the Next Generation alone, so we don't have to establish that bit. If anything, that's what is being used to set everything up here in this episode. What I would say is, I think like. If I'm tracking progression of people's characters, I don't think anyone really progressed, but just everyone was on their marks.
I would argue that. I would argue that, and the reason is this: is that when the episode starts, you have Next Generation Worf. You have because it's the very first scene he walks off the shuttle or the ship, whatever it is, and he is Next Generation Worf.
Yeah,
he gets greeted. He gets greeted by Chief O'Brien, and he goes straight to Cisco's office. And he walks in, and he is the very rigid, very stoic. I am Commander Worf, almost Vulcan-esque in his delivery of this. By the way, he's standing there as like at ease, Mr. Worf, and he's just like a slight sag of the shoulders is all that needed. Like, okay. But then that internal conflict comes in. So you then have a Worf that does not know his place anymore. He no longer knows. He's like he believes I've been around people too long. I've been around humans too long. I am losing what I am. I'm losing who I am. And now I've lost the only home I've ever really had. What the hell do I do?
Yeah.
And then you can see in that point that it pains him to be doing this against the people he wants to be with, and that echoes the scene between, and there's again another scene we haven't talked about, the scene between him and Odo. The scene between him and Odo, and Odo reveals, I realize what you're going through. Do I have duty or do I have my people? And that's essentially what is now going through Worf's mind, because he was thinking he would leave Starfleet and go back to his people.
Yeah,
and now he can't do it. So I was like, what do I do with myself now? I am completely lost until he gets this lifeline from Cisco. So the start of this episode is very much Next Generation Worf, and then by the end of it, we have a completely different person, a completely different Worf, and that is your progression of
Yeah.
a character in this episode. He has to change, he has to alter his perception of what's going on and what he's doing,
Hmm.
because Next Generation Worf is not Deep Space Nine Worf. They are two
Yeah,
different
very much
characters.
so, yeah.
They might be two Klingons played by Michael Dorn, but they're two very, very different characters. Because even from this point now, everything that Worf does is different to how we would have done it on the Enterprise.
Oh, 100%, yeah.
It's completely different.
It goes without saying that like Deep Space Nine is really where Michael Dorn and Worf in particular gets to breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
It's very much a case really it's a case with Chief O'Brien as well, really. Like both characters are allowed to just like kind of breathe and expand and to be a lot more in depth, really. And this is what I was going to say about in terms of like that kind of conversation between progression and depth. Like there is so like the beauty of like Deep Space Nine is that these characters are so deep already beyond before we get to season 4. Like we know where all of these characters stand. We all know where they are in the world in that sense, where we don't have to like turn to Kira and go, and how does that make you feel? Or turn to Bashir and go, how do they make you feel? We know how they feel at this point. Yeah. So that's why this is what I was saying, where like not necessarily progression, but consolidation is what I would say. It's like this is where everyone is where they need to be in this moment because they are the right people for this situation. Yeah. So like I would say like there's a little bit of progression with Cisco because he's got someone to fight for now. That'd be the one thing I would say is that like if anyone really outside of the like Worf was the most work to do 100%. Cisco was the one where like okay we need to drive home the fact that like he's got the fire back in him in a sense because he has someone in his life again. He's got a son to fight for as well, so he has that like that lion heart is there for Cisco, and those are the two people I think the episode is really defined by, without necessarily being kind of restricted by, if that makes sense. This is where all the other characters come in and they're like, right, we're all ready to go here as well. We're all set up where we've got our ducks in a row character wise. Martok, I think, is a bit of an interesting one on this one because obviously it's the first time we really see him. Like I think we might got mentioned in dialogue beforehand. It's the first time we actually meet Martok in the flesh, and we get a good idea of what he is as a Klingon. It's quite interesting actually, like how we would eventually grow to know Martok as what he is now, because like what we have Martok at the moment is not exactly the full fucking package, but he is a very different Klingon though. Like he's more subdued. There's more of a kind of almost samurai quality to him in terms like he's kind of a brood to him. He's like, he's very honor based. He's very much the case like I am being reasonable here, but I won't be tomorrow type of thing. And especially then you compare that to Gowron, who is just an imp by comparison. He just like he's almost like he's the devil on the shoulder going like I will fucking eat your family. That kind of like energy to it. And he's the fucking chancellor. They've no fucking hope. So like those that kind of dynamic between the two. But then what was really interesting, and I suppose that's what's kind of like that what brings me into the category of 9 to 10 in my kind of scoring, is the dynamic between Gowron and Martok at the end, where Gowron is the one that's now withdrawing and Martok is like, no, let's keep going. It's like that should have told you everything for essentially the sequel to this episode in season 5 is like that should tell you everything about why this is all off. Because Martok has been blaming Gowron for all this fucking agitation, and then you turn around and suddenly Martok is the one that wants to keep fighting. It's like that doesn't make sense. That looks like a complete fucking like miscue there, and like you accuse that of like being like inconsistent writing. But when you see the payoff, then as you said, I think you said earlier on, that when you see the payoff then in the next season, you go, oh, that's why there was a flip there, because there was an imposter in the room, shall we say. So anyway, I had this category marked as in between 9 and 10. So what would you say to that, Jerry?
The thing is, I would have gone at 10 for this one as well.
Okay.
It's for me, it's that one episode where I will make certain exceptions, but not many.
Yeah.
So I would have gone to a 10. You're going to a 9 to a 10. I will concede.
Okay.
And go a 9.5.
No, actually, to be honest, I'm going to go with 10.
All right, okay.
I was thinking between 9 and 10 anyway, so I was
like,
listen, if we got two 10s, we got two 10s. So I think that's only fair.
Yeah.
Especially when we look at the last category. So that's the last category is an automatic 10 as well, isn't it? Like
it is an automatic 10 for so many reasons.
Yeah.
So many reasons. Let me see. I'm going to try and say these quickly. Okay. Number one, we're introduced to Martok, and Martok becomes an integral character for the next 3 fucking seasons.
Yeah.
Number two, the
Worf.
main thing, we now have Worf in Deep Space Nine for the next 3 seasons. Absolutely incredible. The main consequence of this is that the Federation alliance, not just a peace treaty, the Federation alliance with the Klingon Empire has ended, which will then lead into a war that happens between them that not devastates, but basically hampers both sides, and they're ripe for the picking for when the Dominion do come through the wormhole.
Yeah.
You then have the consequences of the subtle little things that we were told in this episode of Martok saying, "Oh, we have to check who we say we are," and all. Oh, there's my blood. I'm definitely a Klingon. He's the actual imposter all along.
Yeah.
And I love that about it. I love the fact that within a year we find, oh no, he's actually gone. Now, I was actually quite sad when it comes to that episode of the first season of first episode of season 5, because you think, oh fuck, well Martok is obviously dead then. If this is an imposter, and we find out, fuck no, he's not, and he's even more grizzled because he only got one eye. And
I was about to say, seeing Martok with 2 eyes is weird, and I don't.
It is very strange. Now, saying that, this Martok is scarred as well, so he has a scar under one of his eyes there. But the consequences for this episode, just everything. This sets up the war with the Dominion. This sets up a brand new arc, a brand new show for Worf for Michael Dorn to display his skills. It basically sets up that, okay, we've gotten this battle with the Klingons, we're gonna get another one at Deep Space Nine against the Dominion.
Yes,
not quite as good, because very clearly what happened with this season was, this was the first episode in the new season. They were like, right, you're getting a bigger budget for this one. Then a call to arms happens in the last episode of the 5th season, and they clearly have no fucking budget left. And the scene of the Dominion attacking the station isn't even half as good as this one.
No,
because it is very much a copy and paste. It's very much a copy and paste of other Dominion episodes. Like, let's put that in there and put that in there. We'll throw a little bit of this huge Dominion ship attacking the station, and that's it. And I was like, it's the same graphics of the torpedoes and the phasers firing. It's the same thing over and over again. I'm like, lads, no, give it over. Just a bit more money. Come on,
get that off of that. Yeah,
like I love the fact now that people can do graphics that are a million times better than that episode from their homes.
It's mad, isn't it?
On their own PCs, it's great. But absolutely, consequences true. The roof for this, so it is an easy 10.
It's an easy
10. And if my calculations are correct,
you've actually done the maths this time.
I think so.
You care for this episode so much, you've actually done the maths. I love this. This is fantastic.
Yes. Well, I saw there was one episode where we went to 9, and I think there was 2 episodes we were at 9.5. And if I'm correct by that, we definitely have a new leader.
Well, let me tell you the top 10 then, shall I? So, in joint top 10 now at the moment is Year of Hell from Voyager and Impact North from Deep Space Nine, both on 85 out of 100. So even like if you're using even old fucking school grades, like even the 10th place one is an A. That's quite insane, to be honest. That's the level of quality we have here. Joint 8th place then is shared by All Those Who Wander from Strange New Worlds and The Wounded from The Next Generation, our previous episode, both at 87 out of the maximum 100. Then Amok Time sits comfortably in 7th on 88 out of that maximum. And then we have Duet then a step ahead of it then on 90 from Deep Space Nine, is currently in 6th. 5th now is Best of Both Worlds, the 2-parter from The Next Generation.
Which is insane to me, by the way.
Isn't it?
That episode is 5th.
But again, that is the curse of the 2-parter. That is the fact, but Best of Both Part 1 would top this list, I think, for me personally, because it is such a fantastic episode. But Part 2 drags it down, and that's the exciting bit of judging both sides. Joint 3rd then is Equality of Mercy from Strange New Worlds and In the Pale Moonlight, who are both on 91 out of the maximum. So now in 2nd place is Yesterday's Enterprise with 95.5, and The Way of the Warrior now stands as the best episode we've watched on this show from Star Trek with a 98 out of 100. It is almost close, if not nearly perfect, as a Star Trek episode. Like,
I
it's gonna
just
take
don't
some
see
beating.
that nothing is getting as high as that.
I don't think so. It's gonna take a
No.
lot to beat that episode.
I can see other episodes definitely into the low to mid 90s, but
Yeah.
98, honestly, I genuinely cannot think of any other episode in all of Star Trek that could possibly get a 98 or higher.
Yeah, that's the
Even
thing.
if you had something that, even
98 is the problem.
if you even had something that came to 98, you'd be like, Jesus, that was really good. 98.5 or a 99,
Yeah,
forget about it.
like I said, like this is like the lowest score from this episode was a 9 for settings. That was it. A 9 was the lowest score, which is insane.
Yeah.
As I said, like we like the whole challenge, like the whole way we do this kind of scoring malarkey is that like it has to be perfect in multiple categories. And as you said, Jerry, this is the one episode that has a bit of everything. Like it is absolute. It has absolutely everything you could want from an episode of science fiction, from an episode of TV. Let's take Star Trek out of it. This is such a fantastic 90 minutes of television, because if you know these characters, you know where where everything is going, then it's an even better watch. But if you wanted to get people stuck into a season, stuck into a show in media res, this is how you do it. This is a gateway drug. It's just so well done as an episode, and we were kind of, I know we're joking kind of on screen here that like yours was The Way to War and mine was Yesterday's Enterprise, but really it's like I can game recognizes game here in a sense. Like if this is a good episode, it rightfully should sit on top of the podium. And like I said, Yesterday's Enterprise being a 95.5 is not a slouch either. Like that is still an absolutely spectacular episode in of its own right. They're all really, really good. But as I said, going by the scoring alone, The Way to Warrior is an absolutely fucking brilliant episode. I mentioned Best of Both Worlds earlier on being almost a curse of the two-parter. Way to Warrior is how you do a two-parter. That is the formula. That is what you need to do to make it to be perfect all the way around. I would say there's like we still haven't touched a couple of two-parters from Next Generation that are better than the Best of Both Worlds for me, but I don't think it'll ever get to a 98. It will take a lot of stopping there. It will get somewhere in the 90s. It'll kind of like make this like table particularly top heavy as things go on. But like I said, I think The Way to Warrior is the best we're going to get for quite a long time, I think, unless something really, really spectacular comes around.
I don't see it. Honestly, I genuinely don't see it.
Yeah.
For me, it's there's some really good DS9 episodes, really good Voyager episodes. Even if we're looking at stuff like Picard, Strange New Worlds, Discovery, there are a smattering of really epically good episodes. But a 98, even looking at that, going, you might get a 95.
Yeah, exactly.
Or, like, put it this way, like, look at how long Yesterday Enterprise was number one at 95.5, and we thought
better than a full year, really. From
we thought nothing would be in the Pale Moonlight, and then Stranger Worlds, not Stranger Worlds, sorry.
No, you're right. Stranger Worlds matched it first, like it did.
Oh yeah, sorry, they did, yeah. And then Yesterday's Enterprise, you're like, geez, I don't think anything's gonna beat that.
Yeah.
But when we talked, we were like, Way to Warrior, like, oh, for me, that's 100.
Yeah,
it's just 100. So I don't honestly. There's nothing in my memory of Star Trek episodes that I've watched that would even come close to a 98.
Yeah.
So I think we don't have an end date. We don't have an end amount of episodes to watch. But I think if we ever came to an end, we could confidently say, I think, that this will be the number one Star Trek episode of them all.
I would be happy to live with The Way to War being the best episode. I think that we would review. Like I said, there's so many other ones that we would do in the meantime. But as I said, like trying to find something that tops that is going to be very, very difficult. Because while an episode can be objectively brilliant, being brilliant across all categories that we've arbitrarily set, that's the hard bit. And I think that's the real tricky bit. But look, that rightfully so, we have our new winner, and long may its reign continue for when whatever happens down the line for us anyway. But for now, chaps, that is the end of this episode, and well done for sticking around if you have, because it's a jumbo one. These two parters can go on a while,
Yeah.
especially when we're waxing lyrical about such a show like this. So if you made it to the end, well done. You have our thanks, you have our commendations in that regard. So with that then, Jerry, this is the end of this episode. This is the end of our arc of wars and conflicts. So on our next episode, we're gonna have to think of something new.
Yeah.
We'll have to sit down, go back to the drawing board, and find some more episodes to review for our own viewing pleasure, if nothing else. Because again, we probably won't gonna top that episode, but we'll find something to watch anyway. But as always, we have to check in with yourself, sir. Obviously, at time of recording and at time this is going out, the dust is settled from Comic Con in Dublin,
Yeah.
and you have more exciting projects on the way. But obviously, you had a chance to meet the magic clicker himself, Mr. John Delancey. Quite a nice man for a manipulative being, I have to say. He carries it well.
Absolutely. I have to say, meeting him was surreal.
Yeah.
He was the first of, I suppose, the Next Generation cast that I had actually met. I'd seen the likes of Riker and Troy, Crusher and Worf and Data at Comic Con, but that was at a time where I was a punter. I was somebody who was paying in, and I was there to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So now that I'm a part of Comic Con, which I'm very happy to say that I am, that is something that I'm very proud of. Now I get to actually sit down and talk to them. Now this was a different one because before, generally when I meet the guests on the morning of the con, so the Saturday and Sunday, I'll have a little chat with them because I want them to be as comfortable as possible, and I'm not going to ask them questions that would make them uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know, the thing that always pops into my mind is that Channel 4 interview with the I can never remember, is his name Bashir, maybe? Is it Martin Bashir?
Martin Bashir, yeah.
When he interviewed Robert Downey Jr. and how epically bad that went. How he asked him about his time in prison. I'm like, why would you bring that up? This is a man who has turned his life around. He's a multimillionaire. He's a fantastic actor. He's now an Academy Award winner. You don't ask questions like that. You know, and especially blindsiding somebody. So I always like to ask the guests, is there anything you want to talk about specifically? Anything you don't want to talk about specifically? And this was a different one for me because John, as so unbelievably nice, he said to me, he said, I don't want to offend you at all, and I hope this doesn't upset you, but I tend to do these panels by myself. And I'm like, if that's what you want to do, that's absolutely up to you. That's no problem at all. I will get to sit back and relax and watch you do your thing. And that's exactly what I did. I was backstage to the side of the stage watching as John Delancey went out and entertained people for close to an hour. He even had his wife writes books.
Okay.
And children's books. And
okay. I was wondering what that was.
He had a book with him.
Yeah.
And he essentially said, is there anybody in the audience who's currently pregnant? Which kind of like everyone kind of went, geez, where's he going with this? Like, I don't know. So one of the guys in the audience said, my sister is pregnant and she's literally giving birth right now. And John Delancey said, well, here's a book. Give it to your sister. This is from me and my wife to her. And it was such a lovely thing for him to do. And as I said, he was so unbelievably nice. He was very, very humble. He couldn't do more for people around him. And just there's not a complaint that I've heard about him. So really, really, really good. Just really, really nice guy. And I'm looking forward to more Star Trek guests because there will be more Star Trek guests in the future. Until then, we have 2 cons left this year to be part of. So our very first trip down to Cork, so Cork Comic Con is the start of October, down in the Marina Market down in Cork with a few little surprises that will be coming along the way. and they'll be announced very, very soon. So I'm looking forward to that. We have voice actors from Baldur's Gate 3, and the ones I'm really looking forward to seeing is two of the voice actors from Red Dead Redemption 2. So I cannot wait for
That's a
that.
good one. Yeah.
And then just a few short weeks later, in the National Show Centre in Swords, at the start of November, we have our first, I should say, Dublin Comic Con's first horror con. It's going to be taking place there with some fantastic guests, actors from The Lost Boys, from the Terrifier. Is it Terrifier? Is that what it's called?
Terrifier, yeah, the
Terrifier.
series, yeah.
Art the Clown will be in attendance, as will his makeup artist, and special effects artist, I should say, not just makeup artist, special effects artist. He will be there as a guest in his own right, and he will actually be applying the makeup to Art the Clown, which I'm talking about it and it's freaking me out. We then have actors from The Predator. We have actors from Friday the 13th, and then we have actors from Saw franchise as well. So a lot happening there. Then it's also been announced as well that Dublin Comic Con will be back March and August next year to the Convention Centre in Dublin City. We've already started to hear about guests and things coming to that. We have Tasha Yar herself will be there in March, and I'm really looking forward to that. I think she will be probably one of the last of the next generation cast that we will get for Dublin Comic Con, unless we get some of the others back again.
Yeah.
I personally would love to get Will Wheaton as well. I think he would be an amazing guest. And then a couple of, can't talk about right now, but a couple of surprises for next year as well.
Yeah.
Really looking forward to that. I cannot wait for March, especially March next year. So watch this space for guest announcements for March of next year. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Another thing as well that we're going to be doing, what we did this year was some of the indie game developers at Dublin Comic Con partnered up with Oscar's Kids to bring a young man by the name of Brody, I should say. I call him Brady, my apologies. Brody. To Dublin Comic Con to present him the award of Game of the Year for a game that he helped create called Brody's World. Such a lovely young chap. So Oscar's Kids help sick and terminally ill children fulfill their dreams. It's an Irish-based charity that is set up by a beautiful couple who sadly lost their son Oscar a number of years ago to childhood cancer. They have done amazing things, and they helped do this for this young man. So he got to not only create it, but to play the game. Now, unfortunately, Brody at the time was dying of cancer himself, but and we didn't know if he would make it to Dublin Comic Con.
Yeah.
And I was so happy to hear on the morning of the Sunday of the latest con that he was going to be there and he would be presented the award. So he was presented the award of Game of the Year by the indie game developers. The indie game developers then came to us and said, is there anything we could do to show this boy some appreciation? And we decided that we would, once it was okay with his parents, that we would bring him up on stage for him to get a massive round of applause from the crowd at the cosplay competition. It's the cosplay competition, most popular thing at Comic-Con, and there was a couple of hundred people there that gave him a standing ovation and chants of Brody, Brody, Brody to this young man that was there, which was a beautiful thing. Such a beautiful kid, and his parents could not have been nicer or humbler. I kind of kept it together as best I could.
Yeah.
And as soon as I got backstage, I couldn't keep it in, because the scene, as heartbreaking as it is, was so beautiful.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. And I'm not a religious man by any stretch. I don't believe in a lot of the stuff that a lot of people do. I respect your beliefs, but I don't believe in them. But I do believe that Brody was meant to be there. He was meant to get on that stage, and he was meant to be presented with that award, because unfortunately, sadly, 5 days after Comic-Con, Brody passed away. And it puts so many things into perspective. People take a lot of things for granted. So for us to do this small little thing, and that's all it was, a small little thing for him and his family, meant so much to so many people. So I don't have the full details right now of it, but what I can say is this, is that come either March or August next year, we will continue to work with Oscar's kids to present a child something at Comic-Con, whether it be a Game of the Year award, whether it be an achievement award, whether it be anything that these kids want. We will certainly do our best to try and do that. And I want to do that personally, myself. I want to do that in honor of Brody. And this is not an official thing. This is not. This is just a desire that I have to do. Is that if we present an award to a deserving child next year, that award will be known as the Brody's World Award, and that name itself comes directly from the lovely couple that run Oscar's Kids. That name came from them, and I could not think of a more fitting award for any deserving child that is going through so much, and if just to give them something small that makes them happy, we're happy to oblige. So that we will hopefully in the future we will be working a lot more with Oscar's Kids to help them out. Again, that's an unofficial thing. That's something that's only in discussion at the minute at Dublin Comic Con, but it's very much something that people want to get on board with, and I'm very happy to be a part of that, and I can't wait to see what we do next year. So a lot happening, a lot going on, and not only that, there are more things coming next year. Can't get into it right now, but there's more coming next year. So watch this space.
Yeah, absolutely. But like very poignant what you said there about Brody. And obviously, it's a really kind of a tragic story and bittersweet in another way as well. That like someone's kind of life as fledgling as it was can bring such a kind of wonderful change and positivity as well in of itself. As I said, like whatever you may think of kind of a legacy of someone like that, like whatever legacy he will have, will hopefully help other children in a similar situation, or better or worse situations, whatever may come to pass. But as I think the best way to remember someone, to make a legacy of someone like that is to remember them as who they are. And I think getting a standard ovation and getting chanted by a very, very beautiful community of people who see you as who you are and not what you want as something else, I think is quite a nice way of doing that. And I think I can't think of a better way of paying tribute to someone who fought so bravely against something that really didn't deserve to have. So
exactly.
So yeah, I think that's only fair to say. So look, as I said, plenty to see in the Comic-Con sphere. So you will be seeing a lot of this very, very beautiful man beside me here over the next couple of months and years, I'm sure. And well, like I say, you've got you're interviewing chops now as well. So no doubt whoever pops up on stage with you is going to have a lovely time as well. I have every assurance about that as well. But for now, gang, we're going to leave it here for tonight. This has been obviously a deluxe episode of Best of All Worlds, and we're going to be taking a bit of a nap after this one. But when we come back, we are going to be starting off a new arc of episodes. Myself and Jerry will have a heated discussion back behind the camera and decide where we go next with our next loop of episodes. Obviously, we do a few arcs in between, but this will be the best chance for you, lovely people down below the line, to give us suggestions for what you'd like to see us do. Do you want to see us do individual episode reviews, like anything you think that can top The Way the Warrior as our top favorite, or just episodes you want us to have a riff on? Let us know in the comments. We'll happily take whatever suggestions you have, and if not, then we'll crack on with some of the kind of arcs we've had in the kind of works in between. So hopefully you have some suggestions, and we'd love to hear from you nonetheless if you do so. But until then, Jerry, we might as well leave it here with the only pointed way we know how.
Yeah.
Ever.